There you go. There you go.
And we started.
And that's it. Black Pedro is for the hoes. You heard it here first.
And also, I want to let you know, another thing I want to let, through Chartable, I just checked it out. Through Chartable, we actually were in the 500s.
Out of all podcasts.
Out of all podcasts. And actually, our
and there's like 700,000 podcasts.
700,000 podcasts.
I know I make up a lot of numbers.
But no, that's the truth.
That's
the
real
truth.
ass number.
And I just checked that we actually peaked out of that lineup 127th.
Okay.
For Chartable,
Okay.
Which is through Apple and iTunes, pertaining to political and / comedic podcasts. So thank you for that. I didn't know if you knew those new numbers.
Thank you, brother.
I checked those numbers. And also, when it comes to just a lot of shows where they don't talk about the shit and keep it real, we are number one.
But ain't nobody else doing it like this, man.
Because a lot of your other little bitch ass shows, you afraid to talk about it. You're afraid you want to hug Amy Geiger. We want to stab Amy Geiger.
And Botham Jean's brother, right? We kick him in the chin for hugging her.
And the judge, I want that judge's address so I can accidentally come in the house while you eating ice cream and pop one in your ass.
This looks just like my mansion.
This looks just like
the one I grew up. Oh man, reminds me of home.
So I feel like a lot of other shows don't talk about the shit that way. We do. So I think that's
you know why? You know why? Because they're not called savage as fuck. Like
yeah,
we are.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
fuck. Yeah.
And you know our slogan is "fuck your feelings." So
right.
Please hit us up with some bullshit. I guarantee you.
Guarantee you. We will not give a fuck.
We will not sleep on it. We feed off of that.
There is so much stuff not to give a fuck about right now with all the things that are going on right now with the country.
Make sure if you want to hit us with that bullshit and get hit right back with it.
Right.
Make sure that you follow this man right here at Comedian Shang. That's with a G at the SHANG. It's not Shang or whatever. Shang.
Shang, yeah.
Right, at Comedian Shang.
If you want to get some more shit off your chest, go to @BlackPedro. Follow @BlackPedro, and you will be able to find out what's really on his mind. Now, you can inbox me if you feel like it with your bitch ass.
DM if you want to.
If you want to, I'll give it to you. And you can post on our page, Savage AF on Facebook, on our fan page. So you can post on there, say what you want. We like the interaction. We'll say something back. We'll also let you know about our live shows. We got a lot of live shows coming up. Savage AF goes live. We do a live show. And he didn't know about this yet, but I'm going to let him know about this. Hopefully, he'll know about it. We're going to be doing the Melrose Improv December 15th. I just booked a date there. December 15th. It'll be a live Savage as Fuck show December 15th in Hollywood. That's right. At the Melrose Improv main stage.
Gotcha.
So
I'll be there.
Yeah. He just found out.
I'll be
because
there.
I just got the confirmation, so I wanted to make sure that I told it while we're on the show live. I guess it's live.
Savage, live. We're live. Savage AF, y'all. Marcus King presents Dash Comedy.
Yes.
Shane, how was your weekend, brother?
Weekend was good. I was in Dallas, Texas. Thank you all the people that came out in Dallas, Texas. I was at the Black Academy of Arts and Letters Theater. Okay. Mr. King, thank you very much, Mr. King, and did 2 shows. It was a very grown black folks, like very grown, like mortgages.
No, they call that grown and sexy. Right?
Grown and sexy, like people with mortgages and, like kids in college.
Financial planners and
Financial planners. It was a very upwardly mobile, black audience, mixed with a few ratchet ass people. These we had little.
We all got family, right?
Yeah, this one girl in the corner of the from the stage was like, "Yeah, Shane, you come off this stage, I'll lick your ass." And I was like, that scared the shit out of me.
How quickly did you exit that stage?
I did get off the stage.
It's like, whoop, show's over, folks. Ass licking time.
Yeah, she actually said that. I was like, I don't know if that's the first shit you want to say when you're meeting somebody. It's like, hey, how was your day? Let me lick your ass.
That's quite a way to introduce yourself.
That's quite a way. So I know that. She said, but ain't your show savage? I ain't that savage. Savage.
Damn,
Let's
get to know each other first.
Other than the ratchet girl, it was a great show. And then I did
You said you were in Dallas. Did you have a chance to stop by and throw anything at Amber Geiger?
No.
I tried to your shoe.
I tried to get on. I tried to get in, and they if they said only friends and family. Yeah. So if it wasn't just that, I would have definitely went up past and.
You should have went with the family.
I would have tried to give her a hug. Right when I'd have hugged her, I'd have shanked her a little bit. Shanked her with
that. That's when it's
SHANK. You know that. You ain't gonna let her slide. But there's been while I was down there, I was really just in the hotel, soaking up a lot of the shit that's been going on. And I'm a huge MSNBC fan. I'm a huge CNN fan. I do a lot of stuff where I look at the stuff online, so there's conflicting ideas. And I even watch Fox News sometimes when I want to watch a fantasy channel of shit they making up.
It's like cartoons.
Yeah,
it's like
cartoons.
adult cartoons.
It's adult cartoons. So the shit that's going on right now, I think, if the people who follow Trump see this shit now, and they still think this motherfucker is an honest, upstanding, great president, there's nothing we could do with him.
Yes, and we're going to get into a lot of topics today. Very excited, right? Because we have actually, and this is the first
happening today.
This is the first for Savage AF, but
Yes.
we do actually have a 2020 presidential candidate.
Yes.
In studio. He's
we have
coming
a
in today.
Candidate. He's going to miss the debates because he's going to be here with us.
Because he's here with us, Savage AF. He's here with you guys, all right?
He's here with you guys.
Gonna get the message out.
So
fellow comedian as well, so definitely coming with a different perspective and a different platform, much like we do right here on Savage AF, right?
Very much so.
And then also in the building, and if you're watching us on any video platform right now, you would not see this voice, the voice of God, we'll call her.
Yes,
but
she's a voice.
Our super producer, Cassie Dang,
Yes.
is in the building, y'all.
What's
Cassie,
up,
what's
guys?
going on?
Cassie Dang's in the building.
What
I just wanted to let you know.
This is not what God sounds like.
Yeah, no, God doesn't sound like
guessing.
that.
According to something like, I think Alanis Morissette or somebody would say
Yes.
that, probably. But
What?
isn't she one of those like God is a lady type of?
Yeah,
ladies?
I think she is.
So,
I think she believes
I
God
think
is a
that's what it would
lady.
be. I almost dropped my phone.
You know, and I've said, "Oh my God, what a great whore." I've said whore. No, nothing wrong with that. Come on.
No,
not
of
that
course
you're a
not.
whore, Cassie. I'm saying.
I thought you were talking
said
about.
whore.
Oh, we're not talking about me
And
anymore.
that's
No, I didn't say you were a whore. No. I mean, now don't get me wrong. There's some whores in the building.
Always. Well, it's LA. It's LA.
It's LA. There's
That's
whores.
gonna-
I mean, I don't know if
that's
you're a
gonna be
whore,
happening.
but I'm saying you've had whore-like times in your life. Yeah, no, everybody said whore. You've been a whore. Who hasn't been a whore?
called college, bro.
Oh, exactly.
Hello.
Bought a whore
How
or
are
been a
Higher
whore?
education.
How many people have been whores? Tons of
Been
people.
whores?
I think
I've been whore.
I think it'd be
whore.
a quicker to answer who hasn't been.
Who
And then
hasn't been a whore?
We'll move on. Raise
Right.
your hand if you
I
haven't.
think
been.
that we have honestly, our Congress is acting less bitch-like, so I give them props.
Finally going to pair.
The Republicans that are still down with Trump are showing their whore tendencies. they got whore-like
Hortensies.
nature.
Hortensies.
They're hortensies. I think that they said, you know what? I'm gonna be with this president. Leave my spine at the door.
And they're like, I already sold my soul to some corporation. So
So,
might
yeah,
as
so
well
I might as well just.
And then
lick-
they just slither in.
Yeah, they slither and they're all
They
taint
check their
lickers
spines
right
and
now.
then slither.
They lick taint better than, like, if there was a contest for taint licking of the Cheeto, it would be these guys. I watched them this weekend on the news twist himself up in a fucking pretzel to say that what he did pertaining to the Ukraine call was, look, I don't see anything wrong with it. There was nothing wrong with it. And I think that that's the wild shit that I see from the right. But I also see the left, like, not pressing it, which is the thing that fucks my head up.
Whoa.
I'm hoping in the debates, which, you know, if you're listening to the show, the debates are actually tonight.
Yeah.
I hope that in the debates that they at least address the Republicans in the Senate that are twisting themselves backwards like hoes.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
speaking of the debates, I know that the DNC has left out one critical candidate, and he's here with us today, though.
We needed to bring the
forget
most
your DNC.
substantial candidate.
We're gonna take a quick break, right? And then when we come back, Savage AF right here on Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy.
Our first.
Black Pedro, comedian Shane.
Yes.
We're hosting our first.
first.
Definitely won't be our last.
Won't be our last.
2020 presidential candidate Ben Glebe is in the building, guys. When we come back,
We'll have him
live here.
We're going to have him live for you right now. Live.
Be right back.
We're gonna
Yes.
play his video.
Okay.
We're playing his video.
If you're
Gotta
watching
wait.
on YouTube, you can
This
watch
is Ben
his video.
Glebe. This is why we need a comedian.
This is
for
why
a
we need him
candidate.
for president.
Okay. I'm learning how to do this, you guys. Ready?
There it is.
Are you guys ready?
Let's bring it on. What's going on?
I think the precedent has been set, but I am, in all seriousness, very concerned that none of the establishment candidates running for office have what it takes to beat the anomaly that is Donald Trump. And these are very much abnormal times, and we can't try the same thing we've always done and expect different results. So I think we have to, for the good of our republic, try something very different. And I know that's not a particularly funny answer that you'd want from a comedian, but it's the truth. Comedians are not just jokers, we're truth tellers as well. In an era of fake news, comedy clubs, I think, are the last bastion of truth in our society. So I really could have made that funnier.
There are other problems with the wall. He even admitted one recently in a speech. You can YouTube it when you get home, because he loves riffing these rallies like he's Don Rickles up there. So he even just riffed another giant problem with the wall. He goes, we're gonna build a wall so tall, that there's gonna be no way to get over this wall unless you have like a ladder. I think you figured it out, Donnie.
In this particular election cycle, the most important thing is choosing the person who is best suited to stop Donald Trump. Every candidate needs to be asked, what specific skills do you have, what unique skills do you have that can ensure we will beat Donald Trump this time?
What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Because we tried the old traditional playbook of cautious career politicians trying to beat Trump on ideas and with heart and humanity, and that did not work because this guy is such an anomaly, such a rare moment in political history where he just makes things up and lies and throws insults, and we very well may lose again. And our democracy is in peril. Everything that this country stands for is in jeopardy if that happens. And so they need to be asked why they believe they can beat him. Because I know that I can, because I stand for those same progressive values that can move our nation forward, but I also have a unique skill set that knows how to bob and weave and roast and humiliate this orange monster. I mean, just imagine being in a debate, me versus him, and he sits there complaining about everything like he always does and saying they've wasted all this money on a witch hunt. And I get my chance to speak and I say, the President of the United States of America basically just said, I'm a little baby boy, okay? Humiliating this very small man and making clear how ridiculous he is in actuality, making fun of him, poking holes in him, is the only way that we can ensure that he is shown for the fraud that he really is.
Yeah. You know what it is, guys. We are Savage AF.
Savage
right
AF.
Here. Marcus King presents Dash Comedy. I am Black Pedro.
I am Shang, and I wanted to say thank you again to all of you people out there. We jumped from 500 to 127th. We jumped from 500 to 127th on Chartable pertaining to Apple, which is a good thing. Apple pertaining to comedic political podcasts.
Yeah.
And in the political podcast realm, we are 45th. We peaked at 45th. So thank everybody out there for downloading and listening, and all you listeners for getting us on the charts. And we're at 45, but fuck that. We want to be in the top 10.
Thank you for making us rich. We want to be wealthy.
We want to be, I want to own the patent to mayonnaise.
I've got a helicopter on.
Not available.
Guys. Come on.
That's what I'm going to buy it. You know what? Michael Jackson bought the Beatles. I'm buying the patent of mayonnaise.
There you go.
Because sandwiches.
He bought the Beatles?
He bought the Beatles.
The Beatles were their music. He
owns
bought their
Ringo
music.
right now.
Like a trafficker?
He actually bought the Beatles. He bought the Beatles catalog.
Yeah.
Well, you can get Ringo cheap, everybody knows.
Everybody, Ringo. I bought Ringo.
Yeah,
I had him do a
there
set
you go.
with me at the Improv.
Speaking-
$25.
He's doing rim shots for us.
Speaking of sets, guys, here, Savage AF.
Yes.
Live. We have our very, very, very first 2020 presidential candidate. And I mean, this is crazy because I can attest, this man has a wicked turnaround jump shot that is very hard to defend. Used to hoop with this man, done many sets with him over the years.
Yes. I've shared plenty of hookers with him. Hopefully that won't come.
Shane, this is the campaign.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Wait a minute. That's a total
You
lie.
are the
Fake
worst.
news. It's
He
fake
is the
news.
worst.
It's fake news.
Although probably people would believe less that I have a good jump shot, but still.
They would believe no, I don't. I believe the hooker thing more of the. No, it's fake neuse. I'm kidding. No hookers. That's just me and Pedro.
Presidential 2020 can't. Please just go down with the shit by yourself. I have no
All right, fuck it. I'm the only one with hookers.
You think I have to pay for it? Come on, dog.
The show's called Savage as Fuck, not Slanderous as fuck.
I know. I've changed it. This is how it goes down now.
We have the one and only 2020 presidential candidate, Mr. Ben Glebe, in the house.
What's going on? Yep.
I had to do the music
Thank you.
because we didn't put the music.
No, you didn't
on.
have that queued up, huh?
No, we didn't have the music queued
It's
up.
okay, maybe if I crack the top 10 candidates, you'll have that queued up.
I will absolutely have it queued up.
get
But
it.
since
I'll
we're
sing
gonna
it myself.
We're working
you,
on our
Cassie.
queuing. This is a new space for us here at vibefree.tv. So
There's a
we're
few
still getting
things.
our queue.
Vibe free, there's no vibe at all?
No, you don't pay for the vibe.
Oh,
You don't.
I get it.
exactly.
Yeah, you just
So,
get it
and
for
the
free.
other thing
As
is,
opposed to expensive.
Yeah,
vibes.
tax
It's
vibe.
supposed to the way Shang does it on the weekends, paying for his vibe.
I totally pay for my vibes. That way you don't have to talk to them afterwards.
That's right.
Get out.
That's right.
Get out.
So this is a
Get
this
out,
is-
I'll follow you on Instagram.
This is a real thing, though, guys. Right? So
He's actually
we have
running.
been on the show because he is absolutely running for the president of the United States
That's
in
correct.
2020
That's
right
correct.
now, currently, right?
Okay.
But he is absolutely also a stand-up comedian,
Facts.
actor, writer,
Right.
producer.
Producer.
Like, has been in this game. I've known you 15, 20 years or so.
Yeah.
in
I've
this
known you
game.
at
Like,
least that long.
So-
Long time.
When
So you're touching on something, Ben, that's very important for me, and I think I've actually said it on this show months ago. Is that, and it's something that you brought up in your videos and on your platform, is that Trump has changed the game. We're not dealing with our normal mom and pop, grandpa politics, right? This is not JFK and Nixon, right? So
Yeah.
this is a
No,
new
this is
game.
Nixon.
That's almost Nixon.
No,
yeah.
this is Nixon.
sorry, yeah, sorry. Well, in terms of the presentation,
It's Watergate-ish.
So, but
Stupid Watergate, as John Oliver calls it.
You've labeled Trump as one of the greatest hecklers, right? And
Ever.
to defeat a heckler, this is something I've also been saying is we might need. I've actually been saying we need a great Twitter troll because he's such a great Twitterer bully, right? And we need somebody to troll back on him. But you're touching on another layer that I think is similar, is that he is this heckler, and we need a comedian to defeat this heckler.
Yeah, because the Twitter troll can't run in real life. You know what I mean? He'd be good
Right.
typing some tweets, but you
Right.
need someone that could take down Trump in every aspect of a campaign. So I do Twitter pretty strong, but I also, one-on-one in a debate, would eviscerate this tiny little pathetic orange monster that's trying to erode our values. Tell Putin's side bitch to go straight back to Russia, where he can be in a little cottage on the side of a Putin's summer farm. You know what I mean?
man.
right, he has to wear a little skirt too.
Yeah, exactly. They could be on horseback together, shirtless all they want. It's an unpleasant sight for the horse, but you deal with it. You do what you can. You know what I
Horse
mean?
Peter should have been all over that.
Exactly right.
Come on, man.
Toupee fiasco has to go down, and you need a comedian to bring him down.
Right.
And that's the
Yes.
whole premise.
So
But I was going to ask, but just because you came on this show, it doesn't mean we're going to not ask you some hard-hitting questions that pertain to your.
expected savage
God
as
damn
fuck
it!
this, so let's do
I
it.
expect. I
I'm fat
want to
though,
know
the
some
whole
of your platforms and
You're
your
holding
fucking
a card.
policies.
You're holding a card to my platform
Okay.
on it, bro.
All right. God damn it! So I'm going to make sure I cover these platforms.
so.
I'm not fucking around, man.
I like that.
All right. So we're going to make sure. I'm going to pull my reading glasses out. I'm going to read all this shit.
So, and while Shane's getting out his reading materials, I will ask you, let's start with some of the challenges then. Because like we said, we do have a debate going on tonight
Right.
with like what we call the top tier.
Yeah, that I'm not on
right.
surprise because the media is rigged and broken. The DNC is a broken, corrupt institution.
So let's get into that. Because I think that your lack of presence and any other person who might be running that America probably hasn't heard of yet, right?
Yeah.
And not because of that individual candidate or their effort, right? But because of the system, something more systematic, right? That maybe you want to speak to.
Yeah.
And some of the challenges in trying to be in this race.
Yeah,
And
so-
not being a multimillionaire.
As we all know, well, first of all, you might not know this, but I'm the only candidate in the race that's a working man. I'm the only union member in the race. I'm the only candidate who is not a career politician or multimillionaire.
Right.
And those are two facts that the media does not care for and the DNC does not care for. They want to keep the people already in the establishment in. They want to keep the power structures as they are. They don't want somebody challenging it from the outside. The only reason reason the media covered Trump was because he was such a ratings getter that they couldn't resist the money that would bring in. That's the only reason they accepted that outside voice. Other than that, they do not want an outside voice. Right. So we've been running a campaign straight to the people for the last 5 months. I've been in Puerto Rico for a week. I've been living basically in Iowa and New Hampshire. I've been getting people pledging a caucus for me, trying to build this thing little bit by little bit, individual grassroots voters at a time. And we've gotten tons of local press. And we've gotten tons of like more alternative outlets that actually are open-minded and care about our country and want to hear all voices in a government by, of, and for the people, which seems to be an important thing that we've completely lost sight of. So the Young Turks have me on, and you have me on, Larry King has me on his show on Hulu, but CNN, not once. MSNBC, not once. I used to be on CNN.
Right.
But as soon as I run, they said to me, it's off-brand for us.
Tell your jokes.
Yeah.
Funny
the news shouldn't have a brand. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah,
They
I didn't know that.
Wait, politics is off-brand for the news?
Yes.
Yeah, politics is off-brand. They put Trump in office, but then they told us another email, we take politics seriously here at CNN.
Seriously.
Watch 3 minutes of any one of my speeches. You realize I'm taking it pretty seriously, too. Otherwise, that'd be a lot funnier if this was a publicity stunt.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you this. Since you feel that the DNC, and I think the DNC is doing it too, that they're locking out outside voices, but there's one, even though he's a multi-billionaire, that they just Steyer to just, he's going to be at the debate.
Bought his way right in.
Bought his way in. But if you look at his record, though, he actually has done some things to try to change around a lot of shit in society. So you can't front on that. But do you think that because you're an outside voice,
his way in, though.
He definitely bought his way in. But
Like,
so I think
that's the exact point. Like, sure, he does great stuff. I've done great stuff too, but I don't have the money. I didn't put $100 million of my own money into my campaign. I put $10,000 of my own money into my campaign. It's all I could afford to kickstart it with. And
That's
the
a
rest
lot
is
for a comic.
yeah, it is. That's a
that's
good.
it for,
I'm like, where you get $10,000?
That's a major amount of my life savings I put into this thing. The rest has been funded by the public and by people around the country in every state of the union. But Tom Steyer, and so even now this, which was kind enough to do a video with me, but they had me fly out to New York for their 20 questions for 2020 candidate series to do the full 20 questions. They never released it. We had an off-the-record meeting with their editorial board afterwards, and I'll just mention this because they haven't even done this, is they said, I asked them if they would move up our piece so we could get more attention to us early because we weren't getting media love. And they said, look, we have a schedule, so we can't alter that schedule, but we'll release it when we're planned on the schedule. Well, they never released my full video. Tom Steyer jumped in the race. Within 3 weeks, they had his 20 questions video up. Even an outlet like that. You can't. You can literally just buy your way into our politics. He's on the debate stage now. There was nobody clamoring for Tom Steyer campaign.
No.
0 people.
And
all of a sudden he's got 130,000 donations on the debate stage. Media coverage everywhere. It's rigged.
And what they needed was another candidate running, right? So
another rich dude. That's what
out of the other
I mean,
75 motherfuckers that are running.
This addresses one of my biggest issues from the 2016 cycle was the way the DNC treated Bernie Sanders,
They
right? Who
rigged
is
it against Bernie.
Who's an established politician, right?
But always an
obviously
outsider,
always fringe,
independent,
a radical
You know
voice.
why they did that to Bernie? His voice. He constantly is yelling at people. I'm Bernie Sanders, and I'm president.
What I will do, in my view, I promise you, the whole thing is rigged. That's what I said.
But he did say that, though.
He did
say it.
because
and
it was
what's
true.
the other
and
young
it is
lady
true.
that is from Hawaii?
Tulsi Gabbard. I
Tulsi
just posted
Gabbard.
a photo of her and I today, and I got people saying,
Yes, I saw it.
I'm supporting Syrian atrocities. No, I'm not. I'm supporting her message against the corrupt, rigged system.
Yeah, but everything else she said is absolute bullshit. You know that.
I mean, she's got some radical views.
She got some extremely radical views.
But
and
on
like
this, she's cool.
On that, she's cool, but the other stuff make me want to kick her down a flight of steps.
Well,
not that
that's
I kick
extreme.
women down flight of steps.
That's extreme.
But that's a little extreme. But I'm just saying, like, if
That's
I was
too
gonna kick
savage, AF.
No, what I'm saying.
No
You've just gone too savage.
That's the outtakes. We're not going to use that.
Of course, the show's live, Shane.
I'm
Show's
saying
live.
The show's live. Oh, fuck.
Yep.
Okay, but no, I'm saying.
You want to take back the prostitute stuff?
No,
Yourself earlier, too, or-
I'm standing on that.
We'd have to delete the whole show.
Well, and we have to bleep the whole show. I'm saying right
And
now,
every
the
other
bottom
show.
line is,
New phone, who this? I'm going through a tunnel. Can't hear you.
can't hear you. What? No, I'm telling you right now, some of her policies, I've read through her policies, she's kind of a nutty buddy. So it's hard for me to take her serious when she says it's a conspiracy, when the other shit she says is some nutty buddy shit. Like, I'm like, this chick.
Like what?
Okay, pertaining to government spending for the military, okay, which we spend way too much money. Absolute gold toilets and all other bullshit level of dumb shit they spend it on. She feels that we should infuse more money in that, but take money away from other things like the environment.
Wait, what? She's not.
Yes,
she's
who is
not
that?
pro more military spending. She wants to stop all these wars.
She wants to stop the. I'm telling you, I saw her say
Are we
it.
talking about Tulsi Gabbard?
Yes.
She served in the military.
She served in the military.
like
she
she's
is pro-military.
pro-soldier,
She's pro-soldier.
Yeah, but she's very anti these wars.
She's
but yeah.
anti-war.
Yeah, no, that would be pro-soldier to me.
That's
True that. True that.
That's pro-soldier, but her spending pertaining to her, right
No,
now,
big part of my plan is cutting a great
Cutting,
amount of our
right.
military budget. Still being the strongest military on earth by an order of magnitude. We'll just be leaner and meaner and more unpredictable. If
Exactly.
someone's unpredictable, that's the person you don't want to fight with. You want
Right.
to pick a fight with a country that's got less options.
Right.
So that's the plan.
Like
you reduce
it's-
the budget, you fund a bunch of our problems, and then you also make us scarier to the world.
All right, so
Elizabeth
so
Warren
get-
is actually about cutting a lot of funding for.
Yeah, I like Elizabeth. I'm considering her for my running mate.
Okay, that's a good
There
thing.
you go. There you go.
I suggest the Dick Cheney, George W. Bush model with Elizabeth Warren as my VP.
Yeah.
She can be the policy wonk. I mean, I know all the policies as well, of course.
Right.
But she can be the like nitty gritty detail. I got a plan for that woman as the VP, and I can be the figurehead leader that brings the country together, makes us smile, makes us laugh, makes us think, makes us question our beliefs, and makes us actually root out the corruption in our government. Right. We have to root out that corruption. The only way you do it ever is by getting the money out of our politics, passing a sweeping anti-corruption bill, something she and I are both fighting for, but mine's much more sweeping. Banning all lobbyist money with one bill. Because the reason we're not attacking the core problems in our country, the root problems in our country, the climate crisis, the gun violence crisis, the stagnant wages, the healthcare crisis, millions uninsured, is only because in every one of those instances, big business, special interest lobbies are all we cater to. Yeah. If you just banned lobbyist money from our all campaigns with one law, another law, you just say all Congress people, every Congress can only ever vote on one issue at a time. Not these dirty mixed bills with poison pills where you can have perfect excuse for not voting for the shit you promised to vote for.
Right.
That's law number 2. Right. And of course, overturn Citizens United. With those 3 things, you all of a sudden can start tackling every major issue in such an aggressive way. Like this, you will see all the issues that we care about in this country start to shift towards the people, start to shift towards solutions like this.
The shit you're saying is really real. You should be careful. You might end up slipping on the shower and falling on a bullet because people don't like when you
I
say.
hate everything you say.
Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know.
Apparently, I'm going to be murdered, and I'm addicted to prostitute.
Forget the prostitute thing. Let's get past the fucking prostitute.
All right.
I'm saying when you speak shit like that, which I consider real shit.
Yeah.
There's a tendency for them to go, we really need to shut him down because that would work.
Right. Yeah.
They don't want it to work, just like they want to keep people sick in hospitals.
That's why they've always said,
thing.
if you speak truth to power, you better make them laugh, otherwise they'll kill you.
Right.
And I've been too serious in this campaign for comedians. Let me say it this way. Knock, knock.
There you go.
Corruption.
Corruption who?
In our government. Fuck, I did it again. We got to stop it and overturn the corruption.
Yeah.
I've lost my humor. But the point is, we got to end it. I was just arrested in D.C. 3 weeks ago with Ronaldo Pearson. I joined him for the last mile of his 911 Democracy 911 march from Atlanta to D.C. Got arrested on the Capitol Steps participating in corruption. Got no coverage whatsoever. Very little coverage.
Right.
It's like you can't even make a big, bold statement and still get any coverage in the media.
Which leads me to a sort of a counter to your... while I agree with everything you say about getting corruption, dollars out of our political system, the very reason that they're there are to maintain that political system. So how or can we even use a broken political system to fix itself?
New motherfucking people.
Okay.
Completely new people who pledge to undo all of that shit.
But if we can't get your poignant voice on the main stage,
absolutely,
without the money, what is it? If Bernie, righteous brother out there, right, speaking the truth to the people, getting all the vote, getting all the money per capita, more money than anybody last cycle, right?
He's raised the most money.
If he can't get around the corruption, then. And I'm not meaning to sound hopeless. I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking for other ways than something violently revolutionary, right? Something, I want to use this system, but I'm asking, like, how do we get you to that next level if money is this barrier?
It's just by people actually finally putting their foot down. Mm-hmm. It might not all happen this election cycle. Right. You know, it's not likely I'm going to win the nomination at this point. I'm trying.
I'm voting for you.
We're trying.
We're trying, but it's not likely. But you got the AOCs coming in. You got people coming in at lower positions. So it's obvious I'm trying to tackle the biggest office at the biggest way and push a very important message at the top levels. And the top forces are trying to push that down. But you can get more people in Congress. We already have the most diverse Congress we've ever had. We already got more women in there. We got more minorities in there. We just start shifting the Congress to be more like the actual country. Get all the bums out that have been taking allowing this corrupt system to be what they're fine living under forever, and just abolish that. Get them out. Make them pledge to care about the people only. I've also introduced a liquid democracy platform called Connected Democracy, where you can actually vote directly on what your Congress people vote for and what your president votes for executive orders. You can see it at glebe2020.com. Click on Connected Democracy. Hell yes.
No,
you can also donate if you believe in our message, because we need to get that message out, and we don't have millions of dollars in political machines behind us. Glebe2020.com. Give $1 counts as a donation. But if you can do 5 or 20, that helps much more, or 50, whatever you could do. But we have to just start getting it out. And I also line myself with the message of represent us, represent.us. And they're what Ronaldo Pearson did the march with as well. They're trying to do it from the state level. So their approach is from the state and local level, is that historically, when you start passing anything from the ground up, when it hits a critical mass point, then all of a sudden all the states start passing it, then nationally it passes. It happened with gay marriage, it happened with Civil Rights Act, it happened with all these different important things.
It has to start from the ground up.
From the ground up. But I'm trying to also do it from the top. I just think we attack it from all damn sides. This is a cancer, and you got to cut it out aggressively.
Right.
I'm trying to go on top.
It's
go from the bottom,
MMA. It's MMA. You got to.
I'm about to grapple a motherfucker. I'm going to choke him out.
Exactly. You got to.
I'm going to wrap my legs around his head.
Ground and pound.
It's going to look weird, but it's going to be effective.
It's for America. He's doing it for America.
Yeah.
Right. It's MMA.
I was hoping you would touch on that, though, the importance of getting involved on local levels.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know, while
time.
Reaganomics may not have trickled down the way we wanted it to.
As Bill Maher said, literally trickle-down economics is they're saying we're peeing on you.
Yeah, definitely. But politically,
It's the R. Kelly method of politics.
the Robert
Which is
Kelly.
nothing wrong with that if you get the right girl. Whatever.
Once again, too savage. You need a graphic that says too savage.
Right, and
Shows on
spin,
Shank's
and
face.
spin, and just write some woo.
Yes.
No,
But grassroots politics do trickle up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Say fuck your feelings.
Okay, but this is what I want to ask you. Okay, so now one of my main concerns pertaining to the candidates and the debate is the fact that they ignore the fucking global warming. There's some people that, not all of them, some of them speak on it more. What would you say pertaining to that? Because without the earth, we're dead. So a lot of people don't address that.
And real quick, for those just tuning in, we are Savage AF, Black Pedro here,
Shang.
comedian Shang, and we do have 2020 presidential candidate Ben Glebe.
That's right. White-ish candidate, Ben Glebe.
White-ish.
That's right.
Now, in your platform, the environment, that's very important because that's going to make me decide who I'm going to vote for, too, because if you ignore that shit, I mean, my kid is going to be ending up, have to wear sunblocks 3,000 just to go to the store.
Yeah.
Right now, I think that's something really important. Is that something that you feel passionate about?
I've recently flipped on this issue. I decided to forget Earth. I just think we let it go.
Let it go.
I just think we let it go.
If it's meant to be, it'll come back.
Yeah, listen, I just think we just doubled down. We tripled down on single-use plastic. We just walk on plastic, make disposable shoes, and just get rid of them after one use. Of course, it's one of the most important issues we face. We got to get rid of Trump because you can't tackle any of this if you don't tackle.
He's overturning all that shit.
You can't tackle anything if you have 4 more years of him. We're not going to have the nation we love or care about or the world we want. It's literally going to be impossible. So he's
all the
number
animals
one.
will be dead in 4 years.
Yeah,
That's
his
true.
sons will kill most of the animals themselves.
But just them.
Just elephants ripping their tusks out and shit. That might have been graphic. I'm sorry.
That is.
Point is, you got to paint stark pictures.
Right.
But so we got to get rid of Trump. We got to pass an anti-corruption bill because that's what's attacking the climate. But also on day 1 of my administration, we're back in the Paris Climate Accords. On day 2, I start fighting for a much more stringent, much more enforceable agreement because it's not really that enforceable even Paris.
Right.
But you have to start taking this very aggressively. The Green New Deal, the precepts of that, we must do. We must get off fossil fuels immediately. We must be the leaders of the green revolution in America. That'll ripple through the world. It'll create millions of jobs.
Because they like copying America anyway.
Yes.
They bite our shit anyway.
Yes.
So we might as well let them bite the good shit.
And they're already leading on this stuff. China, who's the biggest polluter in the world, is leading us on green technology research. And
Brazil actually like solar and wind are pushing forward more than that.
Brazil is killing us with not only green energy but also better asses.
That's
Yes,
true.
yes.
Brazil
You
got
know-
the best asses.
Best
Outside
But
ass.
you know who
outside of
actually
Beverly Hills.
you sound
Outside of Beverly Hills.
When I read this, you know
That's
who's
true.
similar?
Real asses.
You know who has a pretty, Yang. Yang says a lot of things that
I thought you were gonna say
He
his
does.
ass.
No, I'm saying not
Nice.
ass.
That boy
Because
got
ass will
cheeks.
always rate in any candidate.
That's right.
But
So,
I'm saying
I like Andrew Yang on some
Andrew
of his
Yang,
policies.
some of his policies are really tight.
Yes, I like him, and I talked to him about this exact point on the campaign trail. We did an event together, and here's the thing. I agree with a lot of what he says.
Yes.
Except his major policy proposal is bullshit.
The $1,000.
Universal
Yeah.
basic income
Yeah, right.
is the worst thing, and I don't know how he's pulled. Honestly, not that he's done it on purpose, but he believes it's good. But it's a wool over people's eyes because think about it. Here's some major things that they don't tell you about Andrew Yang's universal basic income. That's why my plan of a cost of living tax refund for low and middle income workers is much better. That goes to people who need the money. If you're working a full-time job, you get some of your money back every month. So you can help pay your bills. That's something actually
Better
helps
than
people.
giving millionaires
Actually
$1,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually helps close the income and
Right.
wealth gap. Andrew Yang gives everybody $1,000 a month, every single person, including millionaires and billionaires. So A, they don't need it. It's almost $4 trillion a year that we cannot afford. And it actually disproportionately affects poor and middle class people, especially the poor, because this was just revealed in his plan. You have to actually trade in your food stamps. You have to trade in some of your welfare benefits to get the $1,000 a month. But the rich people don't trade shit in.
Right.
So actually it helps the poor less than it helps the rich, therefore making it worse.
But he's saying
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's a major
Amazon,
problem.
But Amazon, hold on, wait a minute. I was going to let you slide. Amazon, shut your mouth, shut your pie hole. Amazon pays zero dick in taxes. So just by hitting them with higher taxes,
Yeah.
we can use that money. That's what Andrew Yang is saying. Use that money to actually pay the $1,000 dividend.
Well, but of course you tax Amazon, but you give
Amazon
that money
and
just to
all
those who
in
need it. You
Google.
don't give it also to other rich people.
no, you don't give it. No, I
That's
disagree
where
with
he's
that
wrong.
part. But I think that
Well, every Democrat's in favor of taxing Amazon and taxing Apple, making sure that they're not paying zero taxes. That's some bullshit.
But
So
I
of
don't think
course you
that
do that.
millionaires should get the $1,000. I think it
Right.
should be spread out.
Well,
but I do think
And
it makes
multi-100,000aires shouldn't get it either. They don't need it.
Oh, but I did think
I need it.
I did think it was a unique idea
$1,000.
in that it would offset the welfare argument where conservatives, rich, the wealthy are like, well, we don't want to pay for welfare for blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and you
and
can't
that-
call it that.
and that
But
is-
I didn't
yeah,
realize
that is-
I didn't realize it was a trade-off for
Right.
whatever welfare you might
yeah.
have. Right now.
And then B, now we're doing our policies to make the rich people feel better about
Yeah.
not giving money to those who need it.
We-
The whole world's tilted towards them. And also, let's make
Let's
sure we
appease
pass
them. Make sure
you
policies
feel
to help
better.
others that make them feel like we're also giving
Fair
you
enough.
money too, you precious little bitches. I'm sick of that. They don't need the help. Have a little compassion in this world. Also, if you give $1,000 a month to everybody, it's just like inflation. You're just printing money. And
Right.
everybody raises it by 1,000, the price will go up, and it doesn't help anybody.
Right.
So that's another problem.
You think corporations aren't going to raise their money if they go, oh, you got $1,000
Everybody's
extra?
getting $1,000?
Well, guess what? This bicycle
Meatloaf is $1,000 now.
Exactly. $1,000 meatloaf. Nobody even likes meatloaf. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing is okay. Well,
You like
Cassie
meatloaf?
likes
Oh,
meatloaf.
yeah,
Like
Cassie
we
likes
said,
meatloaf.
like we said.
I would do anything for love, Cassie. The point is, right?
Can't do
Here's-
that.
I made some shitty meatloaf for some ass, so I got to admit that.
Right, but so here's the thing: we have to actually start doing things that actually help real people. We have to start taking real action. It's enough of this bullshit where we try to appease the rich, and
I
that's
agree
why
with you.
I call myself a compassionate capitalist. I do not say I'm a socialist. I am not. Our country is and always has been capitalist and
Capitalistic
socialist.
and socialist.
Of course. But I love capitalism being the base of our country because that's how you can make a life in this country. The American dream is capitalism.
Right.
You have to always be able to be upwardly mobile in this country.
Right.
Be able to do better than your parents. Be able to change your reality. That's wonderful. But only with having compassion. Under one simple rule. Just don't step on anybody else along your
But
way.
you know what? But people see compassion as fucking.
That doesn't sound like capitalism
Hold
to
up,
me.
compassion. Oh, wait. I understand
why
you're
it's a new version of
compassionate.
capitalism.
You're compassionate, but at the same time, people see compassionate as little soft ass yogurty bitch shit. That's what people think.
No.
If you're in a debate and you act compassionate and you actually stick to the facts instead of throwing a few names or so.
I'm going to
'cause
throw
that-
names.
Oh, okay, good.
But I'm
Because
just saying, as a
you can't be too
monetary
compassionate.
policy,
Yes.
if not too compassionate, I'm saying compassionate
yes.
capitalism. And the reason I say
Yeah.
that, it's not just to help people, it's also because it benefits the rich and it benefits all of society. If you're going to have a savage AF society where you actually do not help people that are in need, you also make them less you make them more risk averse. You make them afraid to start businesses, to take chances.
Right,
Because they're
'cause they're
afraid if they
comfortable.
lose, they got no safety net.
Right.
If you give a good, solid safety net to people and give them a leg up and give them business incentives to start small businesses, you make sure they don't have the burden of health care on their business. You take employer-based health care away so people can actually start businesses and hire people more freely. That is compassionate capitalism.
Hey.
You just help people start, so if they fail, they're not afraid to fail. They can start, and then it lifts all ships.
All right. So, and I agree with all. God
Damn it, man. God damn it. Where's our applause machine?
But listen,
Everybody.
That's right.
Goddamn right. You know what? I'm not. You've changed. I'm fuck Yang. I'm
Thank you.
voting for you.
Thank you very
And
much.
I like Yang, and that's my man.
Bleep Gang, not the Yang Gang. I like Yang too.
I like
Follow me
Yang,
on Twitter.
but,
what up, Andrew? I'm just saying, we got a better plan than you do. That's all.
Yeah, we got a better plan than you. Good for you.
I do want to. So we're going to take a quick break. When we
Oh,
come
shit.
back, now that we
Finally, I can breathe.
Yes.
when we come back, now that we've addressed like the what in terms
Now
of
that we found love, what are we gonna do
what
with
are we
it?
going to exactly. So now that we know some of the what's that we need to do,
Yeah.
I do want to get into you, Ben Glebe, 2020
Benny
presidential
Glebe,
candidate.
Ben
I want to
Glebe.
get into you.
You want me
get into
over.
it with you about some of the how.
I love that.
How
And,
we get to do
how.
these things.
And
So,
also during commercial, I'm trying to lose about 15 pounds. What is happening here? I don't like the way that looks at all.
no, that means you're out there working hard.
You're running around and you're doing what
For
you
the
got to do to
people.
change this country.
And yeah, you got to
Young
hit the
man.
drive-through every now and then.
A lot of
You
drive-through.
can't, you
No
know.
more prostitute talk. I promise.
Thank you very much.
I promise.
We
Oh,
sure you
well, I
got it.
can't.
What's on that dollar menu?
We're Savage AF right here on Marcus King.
I'll buy that for $1.
When we come back, more with Ben Glebe.
Ben Glebe, 2020.
We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Donald Trump is the greatest heckler in American history. And the only person that can effectively take down a heckler is a comedian. Just keep that in mind.
First of all, it can't get much more of a joker in the White House than we have now. So I think the precedent has been set. But I am, in all seriousness, very concerned that none of the establishment candidates running for office have what it takes to beat the anomaly that is Donald Trump. And these are very much abnormal times, and we can't try the same thing we've always done and expect different results. So I think we have to, for the good of our republic, try something very different. And I know that's not a particularly funny answer that you want from a comedian, but it's the truth. Comedians are not just jokers, we're truth tellers as well. In an era of fake news, comedy clubs, I think, are the last bastion of truth in our society. So I really could have made that funnier.
There are other problems with the wall. He even admitted one recently in a speech. You can YouTube it when you get home. Because he loves riffing these rallies like he's Don Rickles up there. So he even just riffed another giant problem with the wall. He goes, we're going to build a wall so tall, that there's going to be no way to get over this wall unless you have like a ladder. I think you figured it out, Donnie.
In this particular election cycle, the most important thing is choosing the person who is best suited to stop Donald Trump. Every candidate needs to be asked, what specific skills do you have, what unique skills do you have that can ensure we will beat Donald Trump this time?
What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Because we tried the old traditional playbook of cautious career politicians trying to beat Trump on ideas and with heart and humanity, and that did not work because this guy is such an anomaly, such a rare moment in political history where he just makes things up and lies and throws insults, and we very well may lose again. And our democracy is in peril. Everything that this country stands for is in jeopardy if that happens. And so they need to be asked why they believe they can beat him. Because I know that I can, because I stand for those same progressive values that can move our nations forward, but I also have a unique skill set that knows how to bob and weave and roast and humiliate this orange monster. I mean, just imagine being in a debate, me versus him, and he sits there complaining about everything like he always does and saying they've wasted all this money on a witch hunt. And I get my chance to speak and I say, the President of the United States of America basically just said, I'm a little baby boy. Okay. Humiliating this very small man and making clear how ridiculous he is in actuality, making fun of him, poking holes in him, is the only way that we can ensure that he is shown for the fraud that he really is.
Work in government. That's where the lies come from. And in a time of fake news and with a pathological liar president, comedians are the only...
Got Savage AF right here. Marcus King
King
presents
Dash Comedy.
We're recording live from VibeFree.tv here in Inglewood. I am Black Pedro.
I'm Shang, and again, I wanted to let you know, thank you for following us on all our social media. Make sure you tell your friends to follow us on Savage AF on the Instagram, Savage AF Radio on Instagram, but also follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Savage AF. Okay, like it, share it, send it to your friends. Also, you can check us out on all social media platforms: Google Play, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio. We're on all the platforms. Download, subscribe so we can get more and more numbers because we want to crack that top 10. We're 45th now, but we want to crack the top 10 in political podcasts and comedic/podcasts. We want to get above 127th. We got to get up above 127, so I need you to download.
You got to crack that top 100 soon.
You got to crack that top 100. So
and then follow your friendly neighborhood presidential candidate, Ben Glebe, at Ben Glebe on all social media, and Glebe2020.com. Check out the platform, click on issues, read all my positions, donate $1, $5 if you can afford to help us get in that voice against this political machine to get the corruption out. We got to do it.
That's right. So, and so getting into that, before the break with Ben Glebe, we were talking about some of the things that, in terms of what we need to do to change this country, to change our political system.
There's a man crawling on the ground.
There's a man crawling on the ground. You guys can't see
Inglewood,
it.
brother. It's Inglewood.
I don't know. That was the way you crawled, man. That was kind of creepy.
So
You've done that before at somebody's window.
So check this out, right? So we got into some of the what, right? Now let's talk about some of the how, right? So I have here the Ben Glebe, where we have the Ben Glebe 2020, the Ben Glebe for president. We've got some platform points here on the back. Yeah. And, you know, I see it here, right? There's obviously a fine line that you have to walk as a comedian / serious presidential candidate, right? This is not for publicity. You're not trying to get your Twitter numbers up, right?
Like I said, I'd be a lot funnier, and this is one of my funnier interviews, and it's just the medium on the funny
But I'm going to tell you right now, though, I like the fact that if you said on his promotions, he said, if we lose in 2020, none of it will mean shit.
Yeah. The whole debate
That's
tonight,
the basic, truthfully.
Yeah, the whole debate tonight is pointless.
Yes.
If we're not going to consider a candidate that's going to beat Trump. This is 3 hours, people being like, I would do this tiny change on the margins of this platform. I would do this tiny change. You're wrong. And then we lose.
No, I agree.
This little increment of a change, but I'm on TV.
I think coming with a straightforward, typical candidate is a mistake.
It's a big mistake.
I mean, Bernie was the outlier voice last time.
Yeah.
And
Elizabeth
they ignored
Warren
that.
now
They
is
absolutely
the
ignored that.
Yeah, but
paid the price.
she's going to remind people of Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry to say it. But I love Elizabeth Warren. But
in a debate.
Right.
In a debate, do you think that you could take him?
Let's
100%. I would crush him. You know, dude, I'm one of the best improv comics in the world. I take down hecklers like nobody's business. I come at them. I'm the first person to ever live stream an entire headline set on Facebook Live. Did it in 8 straight cities, 4 million views. I can crush anybody off the top of the dome.
He's a mean son of a bitch.
Yeah, he would, because no one ever comes back at him. They don't come back with the follow-ups. I would crush this treasonous, horrible example of a human being. Napoleon Bone Spurs would go straight down. Easy. It's a piece of cake. Tiny brain Trump would be going straight to the swamp. He literally wanted to add a swamp by putting alligators in a moat around the wall.
We were talking about that.
But you know what, though? You know, he'll make some calls to China, and then he'll do some background check on you.
Dude, I was doing shows in China, and I said the 3 T's. You're not even allowed to say it legally or you get thrown in jail. I said it. I speak truth to power. I don't care. I'm not afraid of anything.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that are afraid of it.
That being said, let's get into the how then. How do we get some of these...
Look at Pedro.
And like I said, like I'm looking at your card, and I see the balance here between... You know, the line you have to walk between comedy and candidate.
Some people are afraid it's funny, but they're all serious points.
No, I get it. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, point number 1 is stop the orange monster. 100%.
Right? You got that sticker right there.
I think that is the main thing we got to do.
That's atypical political talk, though, or political point.
That's why you need to beat Donald Trump.
Right.
need
So
someone
beat
that's
down the
gonna
drum. Right.
speak completely outside the box.
We got that right. So let's say healthcare for everyone. Obviously, right. That's what it says. Healthcare for everyone. Because
Right.
obviously, right.
Yeah, because
and,
obviously.
And we agreed it, right. We all need. But how does Ben Glebe 2020?
Okay.
How do we get there?
I've never thought this far into it. I'm kidding. Here's how you do it. Okay, so I do not believe in an ideal world, a Medicare for all plan would be nice, but it's not plausible. It's not realistic. I don't think any of us believes that within the first term of a president, you're going to be able to put all 300 million Americans on a government-run healthcare program. It's just never going to happen.
Right.
The government couldn't get the healthcare website up for like several months.
right.
Okay, my website's never crashed, but they can't figure it out. So there's no way you're going to be able to do that. A. B, it's anti-American in my mind to take away people's choice. And Bernie's plan bans private insurance, basically, for most people.
That's
except for electives.
that's where Bernie lost me.
Right. So in America, you need to have choice. You know, I had a big health problem a few years ago. I had to get a surgery, and I didn't like the option that my health plan offered me. And I went and I sought out better surgeons. I negotiated with them. I went out of pocket. I got the money needed to make sure I could pay for that. That's what America has to be. We're not a place that just dictates to you. You get one option only. So my plan is you expand Medicare with a public option to the millions who don't have it. Every American who wants insurance with the government can get it, no problem, easy. You're covered.
No
you get
pre-existing conditions.
What about
all that.
No pre-existing condition.
single payer though? If you go with single payer, I know people say cover it all, but with single payer, it does actually add options, and also you can keep your kids on a little bit longer.
Single payer doesn't add options.
No.
Single payer is just straight up Medicare for all.
Okay, but what I'm saying is pertaining to, like with me, I have 2 sons.
Yeah.
And I would like to keep them on my, my coverage.
We're not going to cover them. Here's the next thing. I'm kidding. We're covering.
Screw them.
We're covering both of your kids.
Okay, because that's very important, because people in the
Yes.
Midwest are going to be saying, like, wait a minute, what about little Timmy?
Right.
With
So
the
of
club
course,
foot?
all the best parts of Obamacare, we improve on it. We just
Okay.
make sure we
I
put
needed to hear
controls.
that.
We put controls on the cost of our premiums. We improve Obamacare, and we expand Medicare to those who don't have it. The reason also why you can't just go straight Medicare for all is because in a lot of parts of the country, in more rural areas like you're talking about, right?
Where little Timmy is.
I've been living in Iowa basically lately, okay? In a lot of these places, they have a coverage but no access already because there's no doctors near them.
Right.
Already there's not enough, and they're not making enough money, these doctors' offices and hospitals, to be able to stay in business.
yeah.
And Medicare generally reimburses at much lower rates. So if you go only Medicare and all they accept is government paid money, people are going to have access, but these offices are going to close. And all these people are going to have to travel 500 miles to see a doctor.
And then basically they're fucked.
Right, they're gonna have coverage but no access.
No access. Right.
And so that's a bullshit plan too, and Bernie doesn't address that. So you need both. You need a combination in this country. You can block negotiate with government, ability to have millions and millions of people. You can bring prescription drug prices down. You take off all prohibitions on block negotiating for prescription drug price. It's insane we ever allowed that in the first place. Other countries charging $60 a year for Truvada and HIV prevention.
And then we're paying $30,000.
Yeah, it's like $7,000 a year for that one drug. It's bananas. And so we need to start having a human-centered approach. And no one is saying companies and the rich can't make shitloads of money. They'll still make shitloads of money. They will still be able to be billionaires. Just you'll be able to make a profit of $30 billion a year when you're charging people up the ass for drugs they need to live. You can make $5 billion profit
to live. Exactly.
To live.
Now
And
I'm
you
going
can still
to
take
go
care
a
of
different direction.
How do we pay for your healthcare plan?
So for my health plan, for the expansion part of Medicare, you pay for it through a combination of a wealth tax.
Well, okay.
A 2 to 3% wealth tax on extreme wealth. Wealth's over $50 million.
Trillionaires and billionaires.
Yeah, just 2% on the money above that, not all their money, on the money above that to help subsidize some of this.
Right.
And you do that, and you also just make sure that you end employer-based health care, but that amount that was being subsidized into it, people can use that money to help put into a pool to pay for their health care. It's going to cost something, but it's not going to cost you what is costing you now, and it's going to be largely free of charge to people who cannot have the means to pay for it.
Now I'm gonna go a different direction because I know what direction you're saying,
I want to
Pedro.
talk about my online college plan too.
Okay, well, definitely. But I'm going to
My
say,
free college
out of
plan.
all the Democrats, because you know that once you get the nomination, you get, because you're in.
Yeah.
You're, fuck that, you're in.
I'm in.
Because I
like it.
said so.
Don't watch the debate tonight.
You don't even watch the
bag.
debates. It's in the bag.
Or watch it with me at the Hollywood
is what I
Improv
need to
Lab.
see.
Yes.
Come to the Improv Lab
Damn.
for free. Watch it with me, and then right after I have my We the People political debate show. I'm moderating a talk with 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats tonight, 8:15 Hollywood Improv Lab, just $10. Then after that, I have a campaign event right after the Hollywood Improv Restaurant, 9:45 p.m. Come join me for free. I'm buying beer. I just want to talk to you about what matters to you in the country.
I think the last time I was at your show at the lab, I ended up yelling at one of the conservative
remember
guys.
that.
Yeah.
I remember this.
You
We the
son of a
People.
bitch!
It gets intense.
But
Come on
which-
by tonight.
Which Democrat out of all of them do you think you could take down? You gotta
Take
put
down in what way?
take down if you had to debate with. We gotta put the wrestling
I
aspect
could
into
take
it.
all of them down.
You take them all down.
I really could
you
take
know
them
what?
all down.
You know what? The reason I keep bringing up Elizabeth Warren. Yang is out now because of you. You really screwed it
Thank
up
you.
for me. But Yang is out. But Elizabeth Warren, I've seen her. She does have really concrete answers.
Yeah.
She is sharp
She's
as a
tough.
fucking
She's
tack.
one of the best options.
She's one
that's
of
not
right.
a non-glebe option.
Not a non like if we if
Weedless.
a non you're right, but I'm saying Elizabeth Warren is very good. You know what? I don't like most of the other candidates, which is horrible, but I don't like them. But out of that, do you think that you can go head to head? Because they're gonna have to have a head to head with the Democrats to go up against Trump without like what was the guy? Castro was like, "Shut up, you're old, you old man. Shut up, old man."
Right.
Without going low. Like
Well-
when they go low, you go high.
Oh, no. I've said on my whole campaign, I do not agree with that statement at all. As much as I love Michelle Obama, I say when they go low,
Yeah.
that's the perfect time to step on them.
Yeah.
They're down there already.
There you go.
Right.
That's the perfect time.
Stomp them out.
We do not have time to be polite. We
Yep.
do not have time to be polite. And when the future of the world on the line, Democrats so often just lose every
Spineless.
race because we're spineless. We do not fight. We do not bring guns to a gunfight, and you must. We are trying to fight for the future and for our lives. You can't also be polite during that. You-
Well, they're
in,
not-
in
well,
war, you're not polite. So
They're finally not being polite when you say, but they're not only an impeachment inquiry, like right now while we're on this show, they're actually talking about taking a vote right on the with the House now. So right now they're actually moving forward with the impeachment.
3
And
years
plus,
in.
3 years in, but which he should have been like
late
fucking
than
long time ago.
those laziest, most okay with corruption people in the world.
Ever. But there's so much shit going on right now with the whistleblowers, with all the shit coming out,
Yeah.
with Giuliani, with his crazy, bat fucking crazy ass. I'm saying to you.
Bela Lugosi himself.
Yeah, he's so fucking. I've met him before, and like I've never met a man's hand that was so sweaty. He's
How much did you pay him for a hand job?
Man, at least $50.
Jeez, you got robbed.
I got
You would
robbed.
have done it for free.
You got robbed.
He would have totally done it for free.
You got rubbed and tugged straight off.
He's a
Straight
total,
to the bank.
He's a total taint liquor. But I'm saying,
I don't even know
I'm
what that
saying,
means. Tank
Bad
liquor?
campaign.
taint liquor.
Oh, taint liquor.
Taint.
Okay,
You know
good.
liquor.
I
You
do
know the
what
devil's
taint
liquor.
is.
Okay,
Of
so
course. I know it. I invented it.
what are you talking about? I'm the first person to ever do it. So I'm looking at the other things on here. Do you think that this was a little too ambitious?
What?
What you're going after?
No, the only problem, the biggest regret of my life is I didn't start earlier. I would have been on the debate stage, I think, for sure, despite the media holding me down, if I started 6 months earlier, like Andrew Yang did. He started a year earlier. I thought about this for 2 years, and I just kept rejecting the call of doing it because it's the most intense thing I've ever done in my life. I've barely been sleeping for 5 months. I'm turning gray in the 5 months. You can't see it from the wide shot, but I have like 50, 60 grays came out of nowhere in these 5 months. Never had any gray hair before.
Wait till you're
Well,
president.
look at
Wait till I'm president.
look
I
at
know.
Barack.
Even in
Look
the
at Barack.
campaign, in 5 months, it's
Yeah.
happening. So it's the most intense thing ever. But if I had started 6 months earlier, I think I would have been on that debate stage. So I just regret I didn't start earlier enough. But
But
no,
you're
I don't.
using the social media pretty strong. I see your
trying.
stuff all over the place.
And we
and
just hired a brand new social media team that is next level. This team worked in the Obama White House in Room 52. They're called Room 52, and they're going to help take things to the very next level for us.
Sir,
Excellent.
go get
See
'em.
what happens.
All right, so let me touch on 2 points. This is very important to me.
Uh-oh.
And it's kind of 2 points touching on the
You're
same
starting
topic.
shit.
Wait, let me say one last thing on that too. Social media team just helps advise me and give me ideas. I'm hands-on every post.
Awesome.
I adjust every language. I write almost all of it myself. I am editing the approvals of every single video. I'm the most hands-on candidate you'll ever see. But you do need support because I can't do it all myself.
Yeah, no, of course. So education, right? One point says modernize education
Yeah.
because it's our children.
Yep.
And the other is free university, but online to save taxpayers money.
Yes.
So
An idea no one's thought of before.
yeah, definitely. And the two seem to be tied to me.
Yeah.
in essence.
Fix our education
So
system.
talk to us first about modernizing our education. What does that mean?
Sure.
How do we pay for it?
So there's an incredible video if you want to search on YouTube, XQ Schools. But they were one of the sponsors of our Telethon for America I created back in November. I partnered with Michelle Obama's When We All Vote to help us create historic voter turnout and do this incredible event. 95 celebrities and 1 million people tuned in, and we helped achieve that voter turnout the next day. We had the most historic we've had since 1914 and best ever among youth. It's a side note. But I learned through them a lot about how they put it in perspective I hadn't seen. We've evolved in everything. We've evolved in our technology, in our cars, in our phones, in our communications abilities, in our ways we get around, ways we talk, ways we do everything. Yet schools still look like they're in the 1940s, 1920s. They haven't changed. It's dusty chalkboards, desks. They're not linked in. They're not connected.
Old computers.
If they have a computer.
If
no
they have
internet. They still teachers trying to figure out the overhead projector. They're always putting it backwards. They're not erasing that shit right.
They still do that.
I think they still do. Oh, for sure they still do. And then on top of that, we've never taught one financial literacy class in school our whole lives.
Right.
You go through all of school, you don't learn anything about budgeting, about saving,
Credit.
about how to credit, about how to deal with your money, how to deal with your finances. We don't teach context in
Unless
school.
you're an athlete.
We're just quickly,
They give you programs.
With the athletes, they do it. With the athletes,
Oh, okay. Well,
quickly, where do you stand
they're going to actually make money. The only ones
Yeah.
that can make money.
on public versus like charter schools?
I'm not a fan of charter schools. I think we need to just improve our public schools.
You don't like Betsy?
It's creating I hate Betsy
Fuck
DeVos.
Betsy.
It's creating
You don't
another
like Betsy?
two-tiered system. Let's not fix some of it. Let's fix all of it.
Right.
Let's fix all of it at once. And you have to also take into account your local school and what it needs. A lot of times, funding for our schools is tied to property taxes.
Right.
That's so racist and so discriminatory against poor people as well, because you're literally collecting less property tax in those areas, so less money goes to those schools. That's insane.
I'm a product of the Detroit public school system.
Yeah, but you got to Princeton. You're a bad example. You're a bad
You're
example.
the worst example ever.
we had to
Did you
share
hear
books to
him?
13 other kids though.
No,
You were the
but-
one that was
you're-
in front
I
reading
see what you're
everybody.
saying, but I believe that across the board with everything. But then you get the argument, well, what about the coal miners? And what about the people that like to use pencils instead of computers and tablets?
They can use pencils and write on the walls of the coals because those are closing in and the industry's
You
done.
shut your mouth.
We
Don't
will-
you say it. Don't you say it.
We will retrain coal miners for green jobs.
What you do, you shut your mouth. You shut up.
Nope, we
That's
will
what they
retrain them.
want.
And
We
I've
want
had many debates with coal miners,
Bring
coal
coal
miners'
back.
wives. I've said to many of them, initially they push back, they're like, that's our livelihood, it's all we know. And I say, but if we retrained you in a job, a comparable job in a clean energy, you
Solar
don't
panels.
you don't have to breathe coal your whole life, and you get paid similar or more, they say, yes, we're fine with also then saving the environment.
Yeah.
People come around when you explain it in common sense terms. Another reason you need a comedian is because we speak in common sense ways. We know how to relate to people.
Right.
Our jobs are traveling the country, relating to people
Yeah.
every day of our lives for decades.
that look
We're-
and think nothing like us sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So-
I'm going into cold rooms in these parts of the country where there's voices like what you're doing, and
Yeah.
I can make them all laugh and all see my way of thinking on things. I've been converting Trump supporters on the campaign trail and on my comedy tour.
You shut your mouth. You
This is a
shut
fact.
up.
By the way, I'm performing in
Devil's done.
Zanies next weekend.
Get 'em.
Taking a little break. I'm doing campaign events too, but Zanies Chicago next weekend. Coming
Great
to
room.
Wilmington, North Carolina, Dead Crow Comedy Club in a couple
Great
weeks.
room.
Vancouver Yuck Yucks, a little foreign policy trip with some jokes mixed
There you
in.
go.
But so you just do that. You retrain people, and then as far as and you also got
And do we do it online at
So-
these free universities?
There's a big talking point now. The big push these days for the Democrats to have free college for everybody. It's a great idea. It sucks that people get saddled with student debt, but also we're broke. We can't afford to pay for the room, tuition, and board for millions of college students ad nauseum forever.
Right.
So I came up with a perfect solution. You want the free college? We create a free American online university, fully accredited,
One?
great university. One that everybody can go online and take. You then have satellite meetups. You still have discussion groups. Still have fraternities, sororities, program boards, intramural sports, because you pay into all that separately anyway, so that funds itself. But you only have to pay for one college, one administration, a big set of administrators to like admit people and to make sure people are graded, but it's all online. You need one set of staff, one set of professors, and you save billions of dollars. You just need to pay for one school.
But I get you, but college is not only just learning from books, and college is growing as a human being.
Yeah.
So you lose that interaction.
You skip that. I'm
You
kidding.
skip that. No, but I'm
No, we
saying.
don't.
No, yeah, you do.
No, I
Yes,
just
you
said
do.
you still have you
You
still have
gotta have
program
interaction.
boards.
Like, where do I
I
get
said you
laid
still
after
have
getting
that.
drunk?
You still have fraternities,
And a bar.
sororities,
And a
program
bar.
boards,
Okay.
intramural sports. You have all of that organized in local areas with meetup groups, all
sanctioned by the university, some not sanctioned, same shit you have now in every city, but you just don't have to have it paid for by the government. And then the government just sanctions the schools. If you already have online universities, and most people you don't even need to always go to college these days anyway, so it also kind of paying free college for everybody just skews against people that want to do trades and want to have other jobs. They don't get part of that subsidy. That's another tilt against people that want different kinds of jobs.
Some sort of free education program?
No, it's college. There are online universities now.
It's college.
No, but I just mean moving forward, like to include those who might need a vocational education.
Oh, for sure. We're going to have the same thing.
Education,
yeah, we're going to have
necessarily college.
We're going to have online vocational schools as well, covered by the government.
You know, a lot of the strippers that are stripping to go to college.
Here we go again.
If it's free, hold up. If it's free, look what happens to our strippers. I'm just saying, put that out there.
Let me just say one more time. You can have local program boards, local activity boards.
All right.
Just
You're going to meet the strippers there.
I don't want to lose that element of my fucking life, bro.
Let me explain something to you. My freshman year of college, there was a beautiful girl who was a year older, maybe freshman year actually also, who was in my dorm. And one day she's like, do you want to go to work with me? I'm like, what do you mean go to work? She's like, I'm a stripper at this club. I just want to go and watch, support my other friend. I'll give you a stack of ones. We can go sit in the front row, make it rain on some people. And I went, had a great time, hung out with her, and that will, I pledge you this, Shane, that will still be part of my online university. Okay? You can still meet local strippers at the meetups, at the discussion groups, at the intramural groups, at the program boards.
Okay, good.
We're going to still do all the chances for you to make friends.
It's a big platform.
That's a job that people do to entertain people. We got to also stop demonizing these victimless jobs. We got to support sex workers in this country that are doing victimless crime. People don't even talk about pornography, right? It's one of the biggest industries in the world, and no presidential candidates ever talked about it. Just shows you the hypocrisy in our. That's also why I was recently the first candidate in history to publicly smoke marijuana. I did it on Getting Doug with High with Doug Benson just a few weeks ago. I was on the front page of High Times magazine a week ago because we need to stop the hypocrisy. It'll help reduce opioid deaths. When people smoke weed, they don't get on opioids. It helps them. It helps you with PTSD, with chronic pain, with cancer. And we got to stop being hypocrites.
Big Pharma doesn't want to hear this.
Exactly right. Let's start living, and let's start talking like we live. Rather, let's start being who we are privately. Be that same person publicly, and you're gonna finally have a country that makes sense.
And I know we got to let you go.
Except for
soon.
if you're a white nationalist.
I know we got to let you go soon.
I don't want you to really live what you're feeling.
Yeah, they can go back to where they came from.
Yeah.
Germany or wherever.
Speaking of hypocrisy, one last point I want you to address here on your platform.
Yeah.
Combine white collar and regular prisons, right? So talk to me about that concept.
So the businessman can get raped too.
Exactly right. I mean, basically, that's right.
I mean, he's gonna be raped.
If there's going to be rape, why is there a class system and who gets raped?
Yeah, exactly.
And I wouldn't have phrased it in that term, but you did, so I'll say it that way.
I'll say it.
I already said it, and I regret it. It could be taken into a soundbite now, but the point is...
Savage AF.
Yeah, Savage AF. Too savage.
Too savage.
So, exactly the point. Like, we don't have a class system enough in this society. We don't have enough of a stratification along racial lines, along socioeconomic lines, that we also need one in prison. We also need to divide people with better class of prisoners and not. And even so, when white-collar criminals are far worse, someone selling weed in his neighborhood to feed his family that's in jail with rapists and all these horrible people, but someone that steals the life savings of millions of people, Bernie Madoff gets to go to a different class of prison.
That has a tennis court and a pool.
And they don't even lock the door in some of these white-collar prisons. It's an honor system. That's the kind of jail it is. Yeah. So you want to change society? You get rid of that. You get two things happen almost overnight. Within 6 months, you're going to see corporate crime drop through the floor. No one's going to be doing corporate crime when you're afraid to go into that jail. And two, you're going to get prison reform so fast when the people that actually control shit see what is actually happening in our prisons. You will finally get the school to prison pipeline closed. You will finally get it becoming real correctional facilities. You'll get the end of cash bail, which is a racist system. Cash bail literally just punishes those that do not have money, and they are in jail for years. Basically slavery. You're in jail for years sometimes before you even get to a trial. We need criminal justice reform so big, and that will happen by ending all these hypocrisies in our society.
Speaking of slavery, a lot of people don't realize the 13th Amendment abolishes slavery except as a form of punishment.
There you go. There you go.
That's the
Wow.
actual language of
And then
it.
you have
So
a completely
we
twisted
never
system
abolished slavery.
where
And-
punishment
like
can be
traffic
justified in any
Right.
way.
Yeah.
And
So-
so what happens? You hear now for the last hour plus somebody making a ton of sense, coming up with solutions you haven't heard of that we can afford, that can actually pass, that can actually happen. And of course, I'm not on that debate stage. And of course, the media does not give us a chance. Cool outlets like you do, open-minded outlets like you do, but the mainstream media does not give us a chance. It's bullshit. And if you ever want to see change in this country, you have to support people that are trying to change the system from the ground up, from the root causes.
Right.
You got to go to glebe2020.com, donate $1 or $5. You got to support. We got to get ranked choice voting in there so we can support alternate candidates and smaller candidates and not let them be a spoiler. Read about that on my website. You have to put your foot down against corruption and only elect anybody to Congress or the White House that pledges and promises, no matter who you vote for the presidency, if I don't make that nomination, make them promise that they, in their first order of business, and already 6 of them have pledged to this. Elizabeth Warren just pledged also. Yang pledged. I pledged. That the first thing they do is tackle a huge, sweeping anti-corruption bill to address the root causes of the bullshit in this country. You will never see the solutions that we need otherwise. And how funny have I been?
And if you don't fulfill that pledge, we're taking the toad. damn
We're
it.
taking right, and Bill Barr's gonna be probably waiting outside to kick your ass because he's
Hey guys,
he's pro-corruption.
As soon as he's done with government, he's going to be a moonbounce at children's birthday parties.
Hey guys, Ben, thank you for stopping
My
by, man.
pleasure.
Young man,
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
way to get it out there.
Check
And I'm
this
sorry
out.
about the whole rape and stripper hooker thing.
I'm
No,
sorry
you're
for
not. No,
repeating.
you're not.
No, the rape thing,
It's
I
his
mean.
fault.
No, the rape thing I think is a good thing because if white collar people were getting raped more, a lot of changes.
A lot of collars gonna change, y'all.
Not my words, but I agree with the sentiment.
Hey, we're Savage AF right here. Marcus King presents Dash Comedy. Thanks once again to
Yes, our first.
real presidential candidate,
Yes.
2020 presidential candidate,
With-
Ben Glebe
with
here. Also
Great
a comedian.
solutions, great solutions, not good solutions, great solutions.
There's a lot
that
coming
make
from Shay.
complete sense. And that's a lot coming from me because I usually go in on people
And-
around here.
and if-
you swayed me.
And
Thank
if
you,
nothing,
Shay.
Why the fuck? I'm gonna give you some money.
If for
Yes,
nothing, if
thank
for
you.
nothing
There we
else,
go.
if for nothing else than to support those outline voices, you're always welcome back here.
Thank you.
You can always. This is an
Right.
outlet for you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned with us when we
We're
come
gonna be
back.
right back, I
we're
guess.
we're talking Syria. We're talking the cop in.
Yes.
We're talking.
Wait,
I wish I
I knew-
could have
I
been
knew-
part of those conversations.
A new
We
shooting,
can let you
a
get
new
your
shooting
platform
of
right
somebody in their house
Yeah.
while they're in their own home got shot and killed, and then another one.
And another one.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of that either.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I'm like DJ
Y'all-
Khaled,
we're
and
Savage
another
AF.
one.
We're Savage AF. Y'all will be right back.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Big bags on a nigga, all I do is spin face. Swear they switching sides, boy, I know they is adjacent. This is for the nights when we was grinding in the basement. Got it from the bottom, never be replaced. Flying around town with my niggas trying to get it. Saying that you down, but you never was committed. Wanna love me now, cause the money I've been getting. Want this shit forever, I can never see it ending. Yeah,
I can never see it ending, only the beginning. All about them digits. You see we winning. Keep it on a hush when we talk about it. And when it come to improving, nigga, I'm all about it. I got the drink in the cup. Baby girl, what is up? Feeling the butt. Baby girl, I'm down to fuck. Down to fuck. Baby girl, I roll the blunt. Talk is cheap, but what she talk is big.
Bags on the nigga, all I do is spin face. Swear they switching sides, boy, I know they is adjacent. This is for the nights when we was grinding in the basement. Got it from the bottom, never be replaced. Flying around town with my niggas trying to get it. Saying that you down, but you never was committed. Wanna love me now, cause the money I've been getting. Want this shit forever, I can never see it ending. Oh, she wanna love me cause I'm getting to the cash. 2 feet on the gas, I'm just trying to make it last. 450 day, watch the security do the dance. Stretch it, make it flip it, I be getting to the cash. Love to live, living wild, living for the thrill. She just wanna fuck, say she faded out the pill. I've been out, living in the hills. I've been out, living. Big bags on the nigga, all I do is spin face. Swear they switching sides, boy, I know they is adjacent. This is for the nights when we was grinding in the ending, yeah.
You already know, bro. Cheerleader family for my dogs out that gym. Shout out YBA, shout out Brian, shout out T Skinny, man. I ain't no G Herbo, but you can call me Swervo. Yeah, I got a hot box, burn you like potatoes. He just left some perkies, bitch, I'm leaning back like limbo. I'm popping out the window with me and Bo and Kinfo. Talking all that crazy, we gon' pull up hot like pimples. I'ma swerve the lot, just cop the new bitch and she know how to top. I fuck with the Gucci, it's my Glock. Hold up, clip out that pants and then make it shit dance. Uzi and Thugger, that glizzy my mans. Long clip when the trip off his hands. I call him Kamari, cause that is my mans. Bullet with Sean, take a shot to life. None of the tracks, I think she's white. Gang shit, man. Pop perky and I'm on my way. Bustin' up, shorty cannot stay. Young nigga in the interstate. Cook a nigga like a water state. No homo, gotta stay in my place. So image your body, we image your face. Hop in the whip when we doing the race. Chop and knock you out in the space. Play calls like David Spades. Drum clip full of extra rays. Pussy. Hit you up, we don't get no fucks. Me 30, it's gon' lift you up. Talking on sex, we gon' bitch you up. Shout out Glizzy, he gon' stiff you up. Acting all crazy like this for what? Cheated on me, but you been fucked up. We gon' pop out with the mask on, get the task on, turn the blast on. If she was a hard as my last jump. Your old bitch is my new bitch. Got shooters on left and they ruthless.
And I got that sound. Can you feel me right now? And I got that sound. Can you feel it?
New Minnesota, that new Minnesota. That style you hear right now, that new Minnesota. And I got that sound. And I got that sound. I am the one, I am the dealer. Fuck what you talk about, stacking my figures. Playing the game, thinking way bigger. Never undiluted, everything pure. Feel like a new age, want you white. Chemistry gon' kill haters, make a hater not feel right. Shine on the scene like a bright light, pouring up juice of that purple rain. R.I.P. the Prince, legends never die. Here to carry that torch, put my state up on my back into the top. Here we go, my city never lost hope, so I'ma never lose hope. We gon' bring New Minnesota, that new Minnesota. That style you hear right now, that new Minnesota. And I got that sound. And I got that sound. I am the one, I am the dealer. I told you before, we just begun. You fucking with winners. A soda boy, my heart is cold, just like the winter. So don't ever think you can play me, man. Can't play me, nigga, play me, nigga. I be staying in the lane of my own. I never doubt the path I choose to take on my own. I figure out how to put these dreams together. Show the people the dealer is here. That Brooklyn center representative, yeah, baby, that dealer is here. With that new Minnesota, that new Minnesota. That style you hear right now, that new Minnesota. And I got that sound. And I got that sound. New Minnesota, that new Minnesota. That style you hear right now, that new Minnesota. And I got that sound. And I got that sound. And I got that sound.
Can you feel me right now? And I got that sound. Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Hey. What?
Hey.
What's
you know what
going
it is,
on?
y'all. You know what it is.
This
We are
is
Savage AF right here.
Marcus King presents Dash Comedy.
I am Black Pedro.
I'm Shang, and again, thank you guys for helping us get to a great peak. I call it a great peak, but we still got to get a better peak. 45th out of all
political
podcasts,
on iTunes.
and 127th comedy / political podcast. Okay. So thank you.
We're climbing the charts,
We're
y'all.
climbing the charts, but we need to get into the top 100, and we need to peak higher than 45. We need to peak in the top 10.
Yeah.
So make sure you check us out. Subscribe. Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio. Also, pertaining to in your dash, you can actually listen to us in your dash. Make sure you check us out. But you got to download the app. Yep. You got to definitely download the app. Dash.
Yep.
App, and you can check us out.
Dash Radio app, and then follow us on all social media.
On social media.
At Savage AF Radio.
And while you're talking about social media, also another person you got to follow this young man. Yes, that's right. At Black Pedro. Make sure you at Black Pedro.
And at Comedian
no
Shang.
dick pics. Okay?
At Comedian Shang.
And follow me at Comedian Shang. Titty pics are fine.
Titty pic, hilarious.
Titty pics.
All right, so
titty pics. That makes sense.
Speaking of titty pics, is probably just one of the things that we could have impeached our president for, right? But so we're into this impeachment. Fiona Hill, a former aide to the Ukrainian ambassador,
coughed up her guts.
But actually, she backed. So here's the thing, right? For those who don't know, your president, Trumpty Dumpty. I know you voted for him twice. Their administration kind of hastily fired the Ukrainian ambassador, and it's kind of under the auspice that she wouldn't cooperate with, what they were trying to get done over there. So that being said, Fiona Hill has come in and kind of backed up Marie Yovanovitch.
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
Say that 10 times.
Yovanovitch.
But the other thing is they have other people that are coming out of the woodwork that are actually corroborating everything she said. And Trump is like furious about the shit because he knows that he was involved with it. This is the other shit. When you see the hawks, I call them the hawks because there's a bunch of them that, when you see the hawks start saying, yo, man, this dude is fucking crazy. He's about to do a drug deal with you, the Ukraine. And also, you're going to pull out of Syria? What the fuck are you doing?
And so I'm glad you bring that up because the U.S. pulling out of Syria is, it's a major thing. So
and people are dying.
Yeah. So
the fuck are you doing?
So what happened is the U.S. we were backing up the Kurds there, which were the only forces really fighting and holding back ISIS.
And also Turkey.
And they were doing and Turkey as well, and they were doing a great job. So when the U.S. pulls its troops out of there. That left room for Turkey to be like, oh, well, fuck it then. We're just going to walk up in here.
We're going to just take your shit.
We're going to walk up in here and take your shit.
We're taking your shit. And ain't shit you can do about it.
So then the Kurds have to be like, okay, well, we don't have time to watch ISIS right now. We got to go fight
So we're
going
to sign up with this other.
They got to go fight Turkey now. And so while they fighting Turkey, now ISIS is running free again. And they're building up their troops again. And then that's leaving room. So Syria's like, well, shit, we need help with ISIS.
And so they end up signing with Shug, which
is Russia in this point.
In Russia. So Russia is
So basically what Trump has done is allowed room for Russia to come in and have a foothold in Syria that we used to have. And whether that's important to you or not, it just all seems a little shady to me given Donald Trump's relationship with
Russia
with Putin
and Putin.
Russia.
Basically, Turkey has held the Kurds over the balcony and said, sign the fucking contract, and you can't get no money off your next 10 albums.
That's how that goes.
That's pretty much what it is.
They're death rowing.
They're the death rowing everybody. They said, look, bitches, this is how it's going to go. And then the other people didn't want to sign with Shug, so they said, you know what? I don't really like this Shug motherfucker. I don't like the fact he keeps riding around on a horse with his chest out. But, you know.
Talk about doing it with your chest out.
With
man.
your chest out, you can't keep riding around on horses in the wintertime with no shirt on.
Right.
First off, mad gay. Okay, that Putin, I think you're a closet faggot. So aside from that, he is a closet faggot. So aside from that, I think that's what's been happening. And I think that Trump and all of them knew this shit was gonna happen, and that's why they did it. That's why they wanted to basically cuddle up with Putin. That's what it was.
That's what it is.
And I think him and Putin got a little love affair. I think there's a three-way between him, the Korean, Kim Jong-un, because he gets love letters from him all the time. No, he does. He gets
that
love
Korean
letters.
boy.
He gets love letters. He's talking about it. He's like, oh, I love the shape of the tip of his dick, which I know y'all didn't read that in one of the letters, but actually I got one of the bootleg letters.
Okay,
I read it in one of the letters.
Yeah.
And then
might want to throw that letter away. Don't
I'm
say
just
that
saying, I'm saving it just in case I get arrested. I need to pull it
screenshot.
out as a Brian. But I'm just saying, the shape of his dick and all kind of stuff says, oh man, as a man, you have such a beautiful back. You ain't supposed to say that to other motherfuckers. Never say that
does.
Like, never talk that. You're never supposed to go up to another grown man and say, hey man, first off, you got a beautiful back. If you say that shit, you definitely have.
I come from a school where you shouldn't have to say that to another man. Like, you shouldn't have to tell another man that he shouldn't have to tell another man about his back.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that to the people that are listening that might be slightly tilted.
Speaking of a man's man,
we got another man.
When he steps onto the stage, he does step out with his chest out. Okay, goddammit. Like walking the yard for the first time, chest out, because he's a beast in fucking comedy. Also, he's from fucking Detroit.
You know what?
What up,
fuck both of y'all.
What up, though? The one and only. You can catch him on the Kevin Tate show with Howie Bell.
Howie Bell.
The one and only Mr. Howie Bell, y'all.
Howie Bell. We don't have an audience clap thing. God damn it.
Good to see
All right,
you.
now we're going to segue into this. We need you to jump in on this because I know we were going to talk about this too. I want to bring this up for the last bit of time we have here. Why the fuck can't we as black people be in our own fucking house without being shot to death? How many motherfuckers got to be shot in their living room?
First of all, who gave your black ass a house?
Yeah, that's first off.
That's where you stepped out of
right there.
It's your dwelling.
It's in your dwelling. If you're in your apartment,
who did you steal this abode from, sir?
Come on, man.
Why is it that the media cannot see and they constantly try to taint the person that did? Like, well, she had a gun in the house. Well, she didn't have a gun pointed at the cop, but yet that's the case. The other brother that got killed, he was eating ice cream in his living room.
Yes.
When do we as black people need to get madder about this shit?
Shane, I don't think we can get any angrier.
I think we can.
Well, yeah, well, maybe. But what are we going to do?
We can't let it slide. We can't let it slide.
What's next? Because now we got to start blowing up precincts. Because what's next? We're getting murdered.
Yeah.
We're literally getting murdered out here. So what's the next level? If you're going to do something, you got to do something severe. Because all this talking and saying, why shouldn't we kneel and all this, that shit's a bunch of bullshit, bro.
Right.
That's not gaining us any ground.
So
it's not changing. I'm sorry, Pedro.
No, keep going.
It's not changing what these police officers are, who they are, and their background.
No, yeah.
They're Klansmen.
They are Klansmen.
They come from
white
that.
nationalists.
White nationalist
Nazis.
Klansmen. So,
They are
Nazis.
and they're a bunch of damn cowards, too.
Well,
because they're hiding behind the uniform and literally attacking black people.
Yeah.
Did you see
literally?
They've
cowards.
But this is going on now for a decade. I mean, they work their way into every aspect. It's not just the badges, right? Because why when they do shoot us, why do they always get off? Because it's the fucking.
But no, you know,
it's the judges
it's
too.
It's
the judges too.
It's in the legislature.
It's
in the stand your ground law that says, hey, these niggas are scary. And
why
one's
is it
in front of you. I mean, you got to stand your
we got
ground.
so many white people calling the police all of a sudden on
They
black
know.
people for doing
They
almost
know what it
nothing
is.
because it's an agenda to get them out there to you so you can be aggressive. They can kill you because the point is let's take you out. We're taking you out right now.
You ever had a white person? You ever had a white person threaten you with the cops? Like I've had that happen.
Absolutely.
Where, like some dude says some shit to me, I say some shit back there, and they're like, "I'll call the fucking cops."
Absolutely, that's happening.
They know what that. Like they know.
They know what
the role of the cops is.
The cops come in and execute.
In this last situation, if you look at the video, if anybody that's listening look at the video, he didn't even announce that he was a police officer. He didn't say police. He said, "Raise your hands. Raise your hands." Pat, pat.
The one who shot through the window?
Through the window.
And now where is that done? Where do they shoot through a window at a domestic dwelling. When have they ever did that? They didn't even do that at compounds when they went and people like these, big philanthropists, not philanthropists, I'm using the wrong word. Evangelists, that kind of cultural cult type leaders. That's what I'm looking for. These cult leaders, they go in and attack them when the ATF and FBI, they don't shoot through the window.
No. Well, they shot this young
wait
lady.
for them to surrender.
The Detroit police killed a little girl doing that.
Sure did, a little black girl.
Yep.
They shoot through the window.
And he got off.
Haphazardly.
And he got off.
I don't think,
but they did arrest this man. He tried to resign so he wouldn't.
Tried to resign,
but it didn't work. They arrested him. Now we're going to see what happens. But I don't trust it because I think Geiger, am I saying
Amber
right?
Geiger,
she should have got.
This is in the same area too, by the way.
Same area.
She's a Dallas police officer,
and that's Fort
this
Worth.
guy is Fort Worth, and
So-
these are neighboring
cities.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we need to be a lot more aggressive. I think we need to be a lot more aggressive. I think we need to. Did you hear that? Was that just me?
No, it's you.
No.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
Did you hear that?
It was
Yeah, we heard it.
What I'm saying is, we need a nigga like Thanos to come in and take out half these cops.
I'm just feeling like
Well, how he
that's gonna sound crazy on the fucking radio.
how he addressed something real though is
Thanks.
that these are Klansmen, right? This is something that the FBI released in 2013,
Right.
Their own study of America's police
Listen,
forces,
man.
and they said they are rampant with neo-Nazi, fucking KKK, white nationalist
white
presidents.
nationalist.
Listen, man. When the
sheriffs
when the
were-
slave catchers,
That's sheriffs. That's where that came
Slave catchers.
the slave catchers,
Yeah.
or retrievers, or whatever you want to call them, will go out and go and literally track down. They were the first bounty
from.
hunters.
Runaway slaves.
They were the first bounty hunters.
Yep.
Right.
They were the first sheriffs, and they went out. Their job was to go and capture you and bring you back to your plantation. They made money off of that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was their original job, where that badge comes from.
They're still
And in
doing
fact, there's the little saying.
It has morphed into what
They
we
used to
see
teach
now.
that to kids, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger. It was actually catch a nigger by his toe.
Yeah.
That was the saying that they said. So we know it's happening.
Picnics come from pick a nigga.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
Right.
hang them up and
What?
we're gonna fry this chicken.
Yeah.
And sit
And
around and
pick
watch
a
them
nigga.
I
all.
had no idea.
So all these
Yeah.
things are happening. I feel like we need to be more aggressive. I think we got to be more into the social
That's
media.
what got us here in the first
No,
place.
I mean
aggressive.
aggressive. No, aggressive pertaining to social media, aggressive pertaining to speaking out on it and not letting it fade. We have a tendency to let shit fade. I don't think we should let it fade. You shoot an unarmed woman that is watching a little boy that's 8 years old through a fucking window. You're
a murderer.
You're a murderer,
There's
and
nothing else
everybody
to it.
around you that condones it, you get heat forever.
Yeah,
you
any
don't let it
cop
slide.
that condones that, to me,
Right,
is
you're not
just
fuck
as
you
bad
cop.
as the one
Right,
that pulled the trigger.
but everybody, there was cops that were backing Amy, and then there's judges that come off the fucking thing and hug her, and then the brother with his bitch yogurty ass, he come over, hug her, and says, well, this is my way of healing, and the judge doing it, and them combing her hair, and saying, making sure she's okay. Fuck that. I feel like
Is somebody
I'm
gonna
not
come up
saying,
and brush this guy's hair?
no, nobody's gonna do this.
I got into
Maybe.
I got into a debate, with this Trump supporter, and one of the things we were debating about was the whole good cop, bad cop.
Oh,
thing,
God.
right?
Fuck
And
that.
as soon as you bring up the shooting, he's like, so you're saying there's no good cops?
That's the first thing.
Yes.
And that's the first line of defense. But
Yes, there's no good-
let's just be honest, America, okay?
America.
To the population that is affected by bad cops, good cops don't matter. Like, when you're surrounded by a bunch of bad cops, or even one, it
I don't
doesn't
even
matter
think-
how many good cops, and they're
Listen,
not there.
I don't
right?
even think good cops can really speak out against bad cops.
Exactly, and then
Because
when they do-
if they're not speaking out, how good of a cop?
But
are
you know
they?
what
And I
happened?
get there's not a space
You know
for
what?
them.
A
lot of
good
times.
cop spoke out against bad cops, and then a bunch of bad cops started trying to take him out.
See?
And then that motherfucker, no, he ended up killing 7 cops.
Really?
He's like, no, you got the wrong nigga. This motherfucker was Rambo. This really happened. And guess what happened? In Texas. It happened in Texas, and another one happened out here where they had to catch him up in Big Bear. He went up to Big Bear and had the shit set up
remember that.
with
Yeah,
guns.
yeah.
I remember that a couple years
The
back.
cop
Yeah,
down
yeah,
in
yeah,
Dallas, there was a cop in Dallas.
killed him.
He was a good cop. He spoke out. He wrote a whole
Yeah.
fucking thing about how these cops is doing dirt. And the motherfucker said, okay, y'all think y'all gonna come get me? Hey, I got guns too.
I
and
remember
took
that
out
story.
6 cops. In fact, they put explosives in the parking structure where he was at to try to blow him up to get him out because they couldn't get him out because the motherfucker trained as a sharpshooter.
Sniping.
Right.
So
Sounds like a Barry episode.
But I know, no, it sounds like it's
But
not
that was
real.
a few
but
years
it's
back. I
not.
remember that
That was
guy.
a few years back.
Yeah, I
This shit
remember
really
that guy.
happened. So I think that
Chris Darner? Okay.
So I think that sometimes we're gonna have to unfortunately sacrifice one of our sharpshooter niggas to take out
Take some people out.
Take some people out and then what will happen? What will happen then?
People start thinking twice before they do things because they're going to be fearing for their life. So that's the whole thing. Somebody in any type of revolution or any type of change. Look what's going on in Hong Kong. People have to die, man. I'm sorry. Like this can't happen. Like I'm saying, I was being a little extreme, blowing the precincts, but things have to happen.
I know you didn't say a little extreme to me.
A little extreme, yeah.
Out of all the motherfuckers you say that to, you know I'm gonna be like, well, he's like, who got a match?
He's ready.
I mean, you get it.
Blow these bitches up.
Things have to
couple
happen
times.
that are impactful enough to actually cause a change.
Well, I
You know what I'm saying?
think we, you're getting on an important line here where it's like, what is? I think we talk about then what is terrorism, right? When we're fighting, because when they would call that terror, like
these are domestic terrorists now.
Exactly.
Right.
They would say what
we would be the Minutemen.
Right. They would say
we would be the Minutemen trying to take them out. You know
it's
what I'm saying?
like what is it, right? Because what we face from this police state is terrorism. It's our existence in America has always been under a terroristic regime, right? So
and
any counter to that, you can't call.
But you know what?
Right?
I know that Chappelle did a joke about this, but Chappelle is not the first one to come up with the shit. Chappelle did this. Why don't all black men go out and register for guns? And I don't mean handguns. I'm talking about AK-47s.
Clips.
With clips. With 100 to 200 round clip. You think that shit ain't gonna change? Shit would change tomorrow.
Only way it would change is if people actually are not afraid to die. Because so many people are afraid to die, man. Nobody wants to fight to that point.
Right.
Everybody's thinking about their life,
So we
which is
must
understandable.
destroy them all.
Everybody thinking about their life, their kids. I'm gonna go out and fight. And look, I might get killed in vain. Nobody may follow me. So that factor is there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I say destroy them all. Everybody can suck my ass because I'm going to destroy them all.
It's a tough game, man.
Sorry.
Tough game we're dealing with.
That's. I mean, no. That is, we with the
tough game
with the political candidate Ben Glebe that we had on earlier. I mean,
he got a lot of good points.
He was talking about a lot of radical revolutionary changes.
Ben Glebe 2020.
But in the back of my mind, and I'm not. He's running for president, so I'm not going to pull him into that part of the conversation. But, bro, we got to get violent to like. Really
in order
change,
to
right?
make that kind of change.
To like,
you know what I'm saying?
Because you're asking extremely powerful people to just let go of that power. You're not in charge anymore.
You're not going to talk them out of that.
Right.
That's not what they do. They haven't done all of this to get that power to be like, oh yeah, it is for everybody.
Right.
Like, no.
We didn't get all these millions to give them away.
No, they've been killing, raping, stealing the whole time to maintain your power. But
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I saw this video of this brother it was in Washington D.C. He was some black belt, 5th degree black belt or some shit, and the cops tried to take him down, and and he beat up about 9 cops before they got him down.
Really?
And we need to have about 40 of these motherfuckers.
Real assassins.
Like that.
Jim Kelly's out here.
No, if you pull it up, put in black man cops, black man versus cops, Washington D.C. And see the video, and it's the best shit ever.
Black man versus cop. This is the only one.
Did they wind up killing him, or did he live?
It was not Denzel. It wasn't the Equalizer.
Did he live?
Did
he live?
Well, they didn't kill him, which I was stunned.
Yeah,
they didn't kill him. And then there was another video where the cop was talking shit, and the dude said that old name shit that every black man said. If you didn't have that badge and that gun, I'd fuck you up. And the cop thought he was tough and took the badge and gun off.
Really?
And this nigga beat the brakes off of me. It was the best shit ever. I was watching the video eating popcorn going, this is better than fucking regular TV.
He backed his words up.
He beat the brakes off him, and then the other cop said, okay, let it go, man. Yeah. And then he said, all right, so you're gonna arrest me? He said, no, we're not gonna arrest you. Right. You can pull the video up.
Right.
We all
saw the movie with
Jake
Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. Yeah, if you win the fight, what was it called? Last Call?
Training Day.
No.
It was something where they was
Final Call or something like that. It was 2 cops and they
they were in the
house and he was like, you want to go? And they fought and then they let the dude go
But that happened in real life. You can find it. Everybody, in fact, I'm saying all the listeners of Savage AF, make sure you check that out. I'm telling you right now, it's the best. It's so entertaining.
How
You know,
you
no,
dropped-
end of watch.
you dropped
End of watch.
End
That
of
was
watch.
a-
That's what it was.
That was a movie.
Thank you.
You dropped a nugget about Hong Kong, which
Yeah.
is something I had on our list today.
Right.
Which is a very important struggle. For those who don't know, they've been protesting since like June in Hong Kong.
And they're not stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's
Rioting,
going on?
literally.
Yeah, rioting. So what's going on is that the Chinese are trying to extradite people for crimes, right? But Hong Kong has long been fighting for a free, separate state, right? They were under British control around the turn of the millennium, 2000.
The Chinese rebellion.
They got their independence from Britain.
Right.
But all of that, but the whole time, China's trying to get their foothold back in there. Hong Kong's like a city-state. It's a city, but it's trying to be its own country. And, people are out there protesting against these Chinese extraditions. And to counter that, the police have been getting more and more brutal.
Yeah, they are.
Going from tear gas to bullets
To shooting.
to
Point
They
blank
went
range.
they went from rubber bullets. They were using rubber bullets at first. And now they're like, yo, fuck it.
We starting to take people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The ice cream music on the ice cream trucks that playing for years.
Yeah, the ice cream music?
that racist bullshit. Yeah. Oh, no.
We talked about that before, didn't we?
I'm just saying.
It's called Watermelon Man.
Okay,
That's
I
a whole
know.
other topic.
What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying.
But this freedom, this protest in Hong Kong, to me, it's speaking towards a global movement. Like, this is one of the places that the world needs to be watching right now to see how governments are handling people who protest, who speak
What do you
out.
think would happen if we did that shit here? If black folks said, no more Black Lives Matter movement marches, we doing a global, we ain't taking this shit no more. No more police brutality. No more shooting us through fucking windows. No shooting us while we're sitting in our house eating ice cream. Because ice cream is so fucking deadly against somebody.
Well,
You gotta
it's
shoot
bad
'em.
for your heart.
It's bad for your heart. If you lactose intolerant, I shouldn't get my ass shot.
Once again,
As is yogurt.
that sounds good, but when it comes down to the rubber
I'm
meeting
saying-
the road and people losing lives, that's where it
I'm
gets
saying,
sticky.
what if we did that here? Do you think it would change anything?
And that's what I'm saying, right?
I think the cops would,
because the people in Hong Kong, they are dying and are still out there. In
Yeah,
the
they
street,
serious about it.
right? So they're
serious about it.
And I think that's the difference between America and some of these other
Absolutely.
nations is that
we fake with it.
Even for us as black,
We
man,
fake protest.
even for us as black people who have been through the struggle, like our generation,
We don't want to die.
Yeah, like. After the 80s, like the struggle seemed to have died out, right, or whatever, and we don't fight like that. But another thing that happened is we watched our leaders get shot in the fucking head.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We saw it.
Okay, I know.
People get killed,
But the
and they
reason I
still
don't
are.
agree-
We shall overcome something.
Yeah. We scared
I
to
don't
die.
agree with both of y'all because you know what? As soon as that happened with that young lady, it just happened.
Yes, it did.
If you look, there was protests and there was 1,000 people in front of the city, on the city hall. And that 1,000 is going to turn into 2,000. If that cop gets off, it'll turn into a movement. I think that 2 back-to-back shootings like that, even though the one lady got, Amy, she got 10 years, but she should have got more than 10
Cake
years.
sentence.
But it's cake. It's fucking cakewalk.
Up for parole in 5.
She's going to do 5. She's going to do 5.
She'll be back on the streets in 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5.
Good behavior.
And she'll have a gun in her hand.
Absolutely.
In 6 months.
Probably.
I just think that right now, as bad as it sounds, and I'm sad for that young lady getting, killed. I think that was the tipping point because you just seen look online. People are talking about it. People are mad. People are not. Their anger is not subsiding.
Hey,
Remember
man.
before we get mad and we forget about shit. Some reason this young man
They
that got
said
shot
that
in his house.
when Eric Gardner got choked.
But it was
out.
2 years.
They said that when Trayvon Martin
Mike
got
Brown,
killed.
but
They
this-
said that
but
when,
it-
and I'm not trying to play the devil's
something
advocate.
about
We have said we got enough. It's 15 killings.
Okay,
ago.
but no, 15. No, but you know what makes this
Sandra
different?
Bland.
Even though I think the Trayvon Martin,
Philando Castile.
No,
I mean,
you know
come
what makes
on.
this worse? I don't know. Something about this makes it worse in people's minds. At least the people I talk to said something about being in your house.
Yeah.
Has made it different than, he was at a
Street.
park.
Absolutely.
Or he was on the street.
Absolutely.
Or he was in his car. Something about, I'm in my house chilling, having some rocky road, and then all of a sudden I get shot because you didn't know this was your fucking apartment. That makes it different.
But
Because you
this
feel
is
like
not
I
the
can't be
first
safe
time
in my
cops
home.
have went inside of
But
black people homes. This happens all the
This
time.
has happened.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
this has happened. But there's something resonating about this shit right now. Because a lot of people were mad.
Because he did some whole ass shit and shot her through the window.
Exactly.
That's why people are mad. You know what I'm saying?
It makes it like, so even though the other shootings were bad, something about the bitch way he did this shit makes total. He got bitch-like qualities before, but you know his bitch-like qualities.
I think what we truly do need though is to take these protests to the next level is to have that Rodney King verdict response that LA had. But not in your own neighborhood, black people.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. We
have
to figure out how
Beverly
to
Hills.
do it. Yeah. Go tear that shit up.
Brentwood tear all that shit up. And that might sound crazy, but they don't give a fuck if we tear up our own shit.
Hey, he burned down his own house.
They'll let the Koreans sit on the roof and shoot us and be like, fuck it, you ain't burning down my shit. And they have a right to protect their shit, so whatever. They don't give a fuck about your little hood scrappings and you fight with, no. Go to the fucking source. Go to Beverly Hills.
Okay,
right. Tear that Cannon Drive.
Go tear up one of these studios.
Yeah.
Right.
March on Paramount.
I guarantee you, Paramount had some fires, nigga. It'd be people start paying attention then.
If Paramount Studios
you burned down Paramount, I guarantee you get somebody's attention.
But I'm telling you right now,
we're getting shot anyway.
We're
getting killed anyway.
It's something different about the fact that it was inside someone's house.
I agree.
It's been 2 years since that man was killed in his apartment. And when the verdict came out, and people were like mad about the 10 years, but it didn't stop. I thought people were like, okay, she got 10 years, cool. No. People still are talking about it. People still mad.
But I'm telling you, I hate to beat a dead horse. But let's go back to what's his name?
Burn some shit up.
Have you ever done it?
Philando Castile.
Is that a racist remark?
He's a
beat a dead horse. No,
he
permitted.
Philando Castile told the police officer, "I have a gun in my car. I have registered. I have a permit." The police officer immediately pulled his gun out and shot him 5 times. Well, how many times? 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, in front of his
daughter.
Immediately
in front of his daughter and his girlfriend, fiance.
Now they'll ask you, do you have any weapons?
So we needed to get to this killing to make. What I'm saying, Shane, is
so what
believe it or not,
all of these have been.
This is the man legally owned the gun.
All of them are bad. I'm not saying that all horrible. I'm saying.
What about the guy in the middle of the street that has his hands up?
I know. Yeah.
It's all of them are.
No, I'm saying they're all fucked up, but I'm saying there's always in the world of all things fucked up, there's always a tipping point.
That's true.
It's like there's been a bunch of fucked up shit, and there's something that tips it over. If
Emmett Till was a tipping point.
There was a tipping point
at that time.
But you know there was tons of niggas that was hung. There was tons of niggas that was beat to death. There's something about this one that is resonating more than I've seen.
It's a young lady, number one.
It's a young lady.
Yep.
They said that she was a good person.
Very smart too. I think she was
smart, good person.
College? Was she in college?
No, she was saving money up to go back to college.
Go back to school. Okay.
The other young man they said was just across the board a good man. Yeah. So what I'm saying is something about that is right now, motherfuckers is like, yo,
you're killing innocent people, man.
Yeah, you're killing innocent people, and it's resonating. And I'm hoping that you young motherfuckers out there. And I'm talking to all you young motherfuckers. You listen to me, you young motherfucker. You young whippersnapper. God damn it. Listen to Johnny Red. When Johnny Red tell you something, you stand up, you
Tell
listen.
him about it, Johnny.
Johnny Red says. No, I'm telling you right now, I think that it's resonating with young people. It's like, man, that was both young people. They're like when it's an older black man, they're like, oh, whatever, that nigga, I didn't know that nigga. But I don't know, something's happening now. It's like young people are like, wait a minute, I'm not safe in my own fucking house. It's different.
We still got another step to go. I feel you.
I feel you to go,
because
man.
it's got to push us to this point, but it won't be. I doubt if it'll be a protest or a march or anybody's speech that'll change.
And black people got to get out of each other's way. Like one person to feel this way, another person to feel this way, and that's cool because we all have our own minds and our way of thinking, you know. But they're treating all of us as a unit,
right?
So we got to start thinking like that. When it comes to counterattacking some of the BS.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? We cannot have that individual state of mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to let y'all know something. First off, thank y'all for supporting us. Thank you for making us 45th. That's right, we milking the shit out of this. 45th on all iTunes, Stitcher, Apple, Political Podcast, Savage AF. Would you ever think a show called Savage AF will actually make 45th? And we jumped up from 500 to 127th in comedy/political podcast.
There we go.
So on Apple, so you can look it up yourself. It's on Chartable.
Yes.
And I say right?
Yes.
Is it Chartable?
But listen live, or else you'll have to wait a week.
Oh, you have to wait a week. But Yeah, for
on
now.
iTunes.
Yeah.
Just
But
so you
Howie
know.
Bell, I wanted to give you a chance. Let the people know where
Let
they
them
can
know.
see you next, hear you, find you.
Well, actually, I'm getting ready to come up in about an hour or something with the Kevin Tate Show with Howie Bell and Robbie Milan. Will be right here broadcasting, man, and we're going to continue the conversation of fuckery that's going on in
The
America.
bullshittery.
The bullshittery.
The bullshittery that
we
is
got some
going
good
on.
topics coming up actually too, man. So we're
Okay,
talking
cool.
about is it worthy? Is it worth impeaching Trump? We got a whole bunch of little things I think we're going to talk about.
Awesome.
Yes, it's worth
Along
impeaching
with,
him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want him to get shot
support
in
the
his
Kevin
house
Tate.
eating ice
Support
cream.
Kevin Tate, support Howie Bell,
Howie
Robbie
Bell,
Milan. But you
that's
can
right.
always reach me on Instagram, Howie Bizzell, HOWIEBIZZELL on the Instagram. Of course, Howie Bell on all other platforms.
That's what it is, brother.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for stopping by, man.
Oh,
We
no
appreciate
doubt,
you having
man.
you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we getting it in.
I
Thank
get
you,
savage
guys.
as fuck.
We just
sometimes.
did a show together, and that motherfucker was funny as shit. It was so
Hey,
hard following this
thank
nigga.
Got
guys.
shit coming up.
Yes,
Thank you
we got
guys
more
for
shows
tuning in,
They're
guys.
coming up.
Every week, Tuesday, 3 to 5. You can catch us live
Pacific Standard
on Marcus
Time.
King Presents Dash Comedy.
Pacific.
We are savage as fuck. I am
Savage.
Black Pedro.
I'm Shang. Pacific Standard Time.
are out.
Yes, Pacific.
And I'm your brother.
I am Malcolm X.
Yeah, brother.
I am Malcolm X.
Cocaine on the table. Welcome to Hollywood, nigga. What would you do for the limelight? What would you do if it felt right? Couple white bitches on me. With my dark shades on. Black leather jacket. With the straps like a bomb. Man, I feel like Jesus Shuttlesworth. Man, I feel like he just got gang. Man, I feel I'm here to change things. And I feel you in my fucking lane. Yeah, I rock that guitar like I'm Jimi Hendrix. Rage Against the Machine, the way I really spit it.